I'm Shane.
And I'm Bo.
We are your Kentucky Fried Critics.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah, you all want to chant it with me. You're happy.
On to another odd one, though. And one that's definitely not divisible by anything even, fun, or anything like that.
Yeah.
Episode 37.
That one's really hard math. I don't even want to try.
We've been getting way too much into this math core stuff anyway.
I've been trying really hard. I want to be smart.
We'll get you there. Slowly but surely, I guess.
Doing
this math at the beginning of every episode. Right. I'll start testing you. People can keep up with your
keep
progression.
Up with my progress. Episode 1000, I'm on like advanced trigonometry.
There you go.
That'd be dope.
Just for 5 minutes, just for the intro.
Just for the intro.
I'm just like, did you do your homework, Bo? What was your answer? All right, let's go ahead and get these socials out of the way before we get too far derailed by some more math talk.
Right.
The first ones that we're gonna do are the meta apps. That's Facebook, Instagram, Threads. I even said it. I thought I'd say it last time to force myself into doing it.
Right.
And I still haven't gone to Threads just to
habit of it.
Yeah. So
if it helps, I've heard other YouTubers talk about Threads. So.
I know it's encouraging that people are using it.
So if people are
discouraging that I still have not remembered to go back to it. Before I forget, those ones are going to be Kentucky Fried Critics. No spaces, no caps, no anything, no nothing special. Just a slash or an at before. Again, like I say every time, you figure it out. There's only two options.
You'll figure it. You'll get one or the other. It's fine.
Meta should just go ahead and make that unified.
Right,
really
should. It should all just be one.
After the meta apps, we usually hit YouTube, our secondary home for the full audio for people.
My favorite place now.
Yeah. Again,
This is where my new best friend lived.
Used to be the redheaded stepchild.
Right, the one I didn't like and I was ready to fight people for, but now they're going to have to fight me to take it away from me.
Now we've fully embraced the difference, the new name for that home. I do like it to have its name there, but I don't want to change everything.
Yeah.
So this one, of course, though, before we get too far offhand, it's youtube.com/@KFC
Yep. Home of the Riddick Rat.
That's right. Guys, remember, that's just one. We could have more pictures. People want to send in some more fan art. We can have some
more lore stories.
Yeah, again, if writing is your forte, send us in some writing samples.
Do me an animated short.
Well, that's a lot, dude. I mean, I'm not trying to discourage someone if they're wanting to do it.
There's no time limit on when they can take their time. If it's like 5 years from now and somebody finally pops up with the animated short, I'm still going to be happy. Be like, oh, they took the time. Look at that.
Fair enough. After YouTube is our website. That's the hub to find all of the things we've already mentioned. That's going to be shows.acast.com/Kentucky-fried-critics. That's right. It's also the home of the hyphens and the inspiration for the dance.
I really wish we had a camera. You all could see my sick beach dance I got going on here.
That's right. Beach dance. Woo.
I'm done. I stopped.
Only we had a bonfire
right,
here,
we need a bonfire, right? Everybody having a good time. Kind of giving away the lead a little bit.
It's okay. Don't give away no more.
All right, I'll stop.
Yeah.
I'm just going to shut up.
We're close, but we're not there.
Almost.
Yeah. The last one, that's our email, the OG, the one to get a hold of us on.
Yeah, this is where you really want to give us your ideas, suggestions, pictures, all that good stuff.
That's going to be at KentuckyFriedCritics@gmail.com. That wraps up our socials. So now we can start getting on to that lead that you were trying to get.
The lead I was trying to bury.
Yeah. So before we get into the movie, first let's go ahead. Let's talk about the beer a second real quick, because this is our second in a row week.
Yeah, second in a row. We never do
I don't know if maybe for some other companies, but nothing is blatantly connected as these
obviously
two.
Just should be right next to each other.
Nothing quite like that. Sometimes you do something like Mirror Twin or somebody like that, like two of theirs side by side.
Three Floyds.
Yeah, if we don't say, well, no, Three Floyds definitely all share a pretty common zombie slash undead
monster kind of vibe.
But Mirror Twin, they're all random references to things. So it's real easy for those. You could set two mirror mirror twins beside each other.
Yeah,
and not really know.
Not know.
Whereas in these,
It's pretty goddamn obvious.
Kona does a very specific theme.
Yep, Kona Brewing Company. Last time we did the big wave. We got waves, man. We needed a board, so we went and got some longboard.
We know it's not summer yet, but we're
it's
just
so close.
we're hopeful
and we're so
here.
ready.
It's Kentucky. Anybody who has ever lived here or knows much about the weather here knows that we hit spring like 100 times and then fall back to winter.
Yeah, it just keeps going back and forth.
And so round about this time of year, we're all really geared up for summer because spring kind of gets robbed from us.
Yeah, a little bit, because it's like, oh man, it's like 40 degrees when you wake up in the morning. It's warm kind of in the afternoon, but as soon as the sun starts to go down, it's cold again.
You're usually lucky if you get like 2 spring days in a row.
Right.
But
And
ours
it'll
is
rain.
ours is very spread out and not very spring-like a lot of the time.
Yeah, so we're desperate for summer, man.
Yeah.
So that's why we didn't want to leave the beach. Still
Yeah,
here.
we did it once and we were like, fuck it, we're gonna ride this beach theme out.
Right?
Yeah. This is one of those times where we both saw this one. Like this beer we had a movie for before we had one for Big Wave.
Yeah, this one was on the list a long time ago.
But we've just been dying. We wanted it to be a little bit closer to summer. We didn't want to be in the middle of winter and throwing this one out
Make
there.
everybody feel bad. It's like, look out my window and there's like snow.
So we had to get a little bit closer. And since we already did the one, we were like, fuck it, it's time.
Let's keep going.
It's time. On top of that, this is one that we both instantly knew the movie we wanted to do. Like I looked at Bo and I said, Longboard. I know a movie for Longboard. And he said, that one
with
in the 80s where Frankie goes back to the beach. And I said, that's the name of it.
That's the name of it.
I said, you didn't even know.
Like, yes.
It's Back to the Beach. This is a Frankie Avalon, Annette Funicello throwback satire
To the old 60s beach movies.
You know, those movies were already campy, super campy. Corny.
You ever watched any of them? They're great.
Yeah. They are very campy. They're very corny.
There's always a big like dance number
In
for
the middle,
no reason.
yeah. This is a 100% 80s style, slapsticky throwback to that while making fun of it. Like it's self-referential. It's meta.
Yeah,
right?
there we go. It's super meta.
It's very meta. Like they know that they're making fun of it, but they also know that they're being heartwarming. Like they, you know, they knew that this was in an era where
it's not being mean.
You couldn't make the style of movie those were in the 80s. Nobody would have gone to see it. This was a way to throw back to that concept, but do it in a way that the audience would still want to see the movie that you made.
It's more digestible for the 80s audience.
And it is. This movie
is. I love this movie.
This movie is great. I remember it from when I was a kid. I love this movie. I used to watch it all the time on both like Showtime, like on movie channels, like on legit no commercial movie channels. And then when it moved to like TNT
and TBS and shit. Yeah.
I
saw it.
I watched it through all of it. Like I loved this movie when I was growing up.
It was the summertime, like prime time movie. It would come on like 4:30 in the afternoon all the time.
Yeah, if you weren't actually at the beach, this is what you were doing.
Mm-hmm.
You were dreaming of the beach with Frankie and Annette.
Yeah. My favorite Mouseketeer.
Before we really get into everything about the movie, we both just realized we got so excited for the movie that we forgot to say anything about the beer other than what its name is.
Yeah,
we were like, this is the name. And we were like, oh.
It's okay.
Again, this beer, it's a Longboard
Island Lager
from Kona Brewing Company.
Whatever the hell that means, an Island Lager.
I'm not sure. It's good. It's super golden.
Yeah, it's super gold.
Big Wave is light. This is very gold.
Not a lot of bubbles. Don't expect a big head on it, but it's refreshing. It's kind of it's like, I don't want to say water because that makes it seem bad, but it's not. But it goes down like water. That's a good way to say it.
The bottle says crisp. I would argue.
I'm not getting crisp.
I would say Big Wave is crisp.
Yeah, Big Wave was crisp. That was good.
I'm not trying to say it's not good. I'm just saying, like, I don't know if their descriptive word was the best. There's only a couple of sips in though, so I mean, I'm not trying to make big judgments yet.
I'm enjoying it so far.
Yeah. Now let's get a little bit more into
now
the movie.
We can go back to the movie.
First thing we'll say is if you don't understand the longboard connection, this is a throwback. In the 80s, people were not surfing longboards.
No, they were just sort of short ones, right?
Yeah, super short.
With the wicked
in this movie,
point.
yeah. And in this movie especially, they looked super short.
Oh, yeah, they were super short. We'll get into that later.
Yeah, but so the longboard is a throwback to, you know, in the old movies, that's what they were surfing.
They were always on a big, huge longboard.
That's what Frankie should.
There's even a few like joke ones where it's like they have like obnoxious ridiculously long. It was like 30 foot long, like 18 people carrying it, you know?
And so we're making a nice connection back to the longboard because it is a plot point in the movie.
Yep.
Of a longboard versus the shortboards that everybody was surfing today. Well, in the 80s.
Your sissy little toy surfboards over there. The real men surf the longboards, right?
Exactly. Before we really get into the movie, for people who haven't watched it, that you need to understand that this movie exists. It tries to set up a very unique universe, right?
Right.
So this is a world where Frankie and Annette are pre-beach movie Frankie and Annette really are these two people, right?
The Mickey Mouse Club.
Yeah, she was a Mouseketeer. He was a crooner on the like teen crooner circuit in the early 60s.
As they're doing all the singing.
Yeah, Venus, as we see, they specifically show us and have reference in the movie to him wanting to sing it.
I'm a little glad they didn't.
I am too. Probably didn't have the rights to it.
Oh yeah, probably not. Probably way too expensive.
Something like that. So it's key to remember that those parts are real, but essentially the beach movies weren't movies, right? Like in this universe, the beach movies
was what they did on their off time. It just happened to be filmed.
I don't even know if it was actually
what they were acting like.
Well, I don't know if it was filmed because everybody in the world didn't know about that.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They're acting like it wasn't.
But then we knew when we said this to each other earlier, we ran into that issue because we were like, but the flight attendant, there are a couple of people. There are a couple of people outside of, because, you know, once you're in LA, then it's fine. It's like, oh, this is just people who know LA culture. You know, like if you're in LA,
neighborhood that they're in.
So that's fine. But the flight attendant was the one that made it a problem because she knew by surf term who he was.
You're the big Chihuahua.
She didn't call him out on, unless maybe that was his crooner name.
Big Kahuna or the big Chihuahua?
No, the big Kahuna. I mean, obviously not the one she called him wrong. I
got confused.
I'm saying maybe maybe that's why people might know that was his name. But that's still weird because why would he be a... No. I mean, it 100% comes from surfing. I'm just trying to give us a reason why she might know that he is supposed to be the big Kahuna. Yeah.
I saw you on TV back when I was a kid, something like that.
Well, yeah, but no, that would make sense. But then his name wouldn't have been the big Kahuna. No, she would know that from surfing. That's the part I'm saying doesn't make sense. The part that doesn't add up goes to the next problem that we wanted to mention is because they don't want to use his name.
Never.
Right?
Not once.
And so that whole plot hole that we just mentioned with the flight attendant only exists because they had the idea of the joke of we're not going to say Frankie. Or I don't understand. I assume it's a joke. Maybe it's a rights thing again. Did you think some
he doesn't have the right to his own name?
Dude, record labels get weird sometimes.
That's a good point.
He used it as his recording. You know what I mean? Like it was...
That's a good point. He could have problems with
back in the day
to wrestlers sometimes.
I'm not saying that is true. I'm just saying it is possible.
It's very possible.
Especially if it wasn't like a legal name.
I hope it's a joke. Now
because you know what I mean? Like, because if it's not a legal name, it's just a recording name, then they could own the rights to that.
I hope not. I feel bad.
I hope not too. But for some reason, the movie definitely never calls him Frankie.
Nope, it's always Dad
or the
Honey or the big Kahuna.
Maybe that's the only reason we have the plot hole. So maybe nobody is supposed to know the surf stuff outside of LA. They just didn't have a way for her to reference him.
Except by calling him the big Kahuna because we can't say Frankie. Yeah, that's a good point. Might be.
But either way, we have a near perfect setup for this idea that the surf stuff, not in a movie at all, not recorded. Like it was supposed to be real. It was just their real life.
Their real life. When they were done doing Mickey Mouse Club and singing on the stage, they went and hung out on the beach. They spent 5
years hanging out on the beach.
And then they got together and got married. And now they got kids. And
then shenanigans and then the movie.
And then the movie.
The movie sets us up for what happened in those off years after they left the beach.
I don't want to give too much away.
Yeah, well, because most of that
started yet.
Yeah, well, and most of that stuff happens immediately because it's set up as exposition.
Yeah, by our man Bobby.
Yeah, so we don't need to do any more of that. But before we completely dive into the movie itself, we should tell you who is in the movie. Obviously, we've already said it's Frankie Avalon.
Frankie Avalon.
Playing, well, according to IMDb, because I don't think they show us a title card cast
I didn't
in
see
the movie.
one.
Yeah. But according to IMDb, his character's name is Annette's husband. He's not even credited as the big Kahuna.
Yeah, they could have credited him as that at least, not just Annette's husband.
Yeah, he is Annette's husband.
She does kind of steal the show in this movie, though.
I'm good with that.
I am too. I love her.
So then the next one is, as we've already been gushing over, Annette Funicello as Annette, nondescript, but definitely the Annette that we know, Annette.
From the Mickey Mouse Club. Really old one from way back.
Interesting fact that I'll mention because it has a deeper connection for me. Annette Funicello was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, MS, and suffered through it for a lot of years. She had it really bad. This movie, she had actually already been diagnosed with it, and she didn't tell anybody.
Oh, shit.
Not even Frankie Avalon. Like, so she went through the whole movie and didn't tell anybody, suffered through, it affects your ability to walk and stuff slowly. By the end, she was completely in a wheelchair. Super crazy. But so that's part of what she was trying to do.
I was like, she's dancing in this fucking movie.
Went all out. So when people found out later, they were just like, she's amazing.
Yeah, hardcore, man.
My grandma was diagnosed with MS. If not then, maybe a little bit after, but she was the same way. She also hid it from everybody. She didn't tell anyone. So felt the connection to that. But kudos to Annette Funicello for doing that. She was like one of the first like people that really stood up for the cause of like, doing things and like walks and this and that and like trying to raise money for MS.
Check it out. Minnie Mouse is metal as fuck.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Other than those two, though, the only people I really want to name, because again, this is a movie that exists in the concept of we're going to throw references to beach
all
things.
All kinds of people.
Constantly.
Right.
We'd be here forever if we were going to name off
just read
all
off
the references.
The whole cast list.
As we get to characters, if we think about the person who's playing them, we will stop to mention them as they show up. We'll do this old school, like how we used to do it. But obviously, I want to mention 3 more people. One who is a huge star, but she has probably very small role.
Yeah.
But she was also just not a big actor. She was not big yet. She became big later. So that's Lori Loughlin, Aunt Becky.
Yeah, Aunt Becky.
From Full House. And all the college scam stuff with her daughter. Yeah. We're not going to go there. She's always Aunt Becky in my heart.
Yep, always Aunt Becky. So nice.
That's right. That's
Loved Aunt Becky.
If John Stamos doesn't have a problem with her, I don't have a problem with her.
That's a good way to look at it, man.
If
Stamos approves,
he's still taking her on stage during Beach Boys stuff since after she got in trouble and everything. So again, she's good enough, good enough for me. So other than Lori Loughlin, then the other 2 people I was wanting to mention are the little brother in the family, because he is actually our narrator. Don't get me wrong, he kind of vanishes as narrator.
Yeah, about halfway through, and then comes back at the very end.
But for like the first quarter to 2/3 of the movie, he's a narrator, and we're seeing we get a lot of him. So that's Bobby, the little brother. He's played by, I'm going to try my best on this. Well,
butcher it.
I'm going to tell, so it looks like it should, like maybe the parents were going for Damien, but it is spelled Demian.
Demian? Quite want to do Damien, but they're
Demian sounds worse. Sounds like demon.
Demon.
So I'm not sure. So Damien, Slade, again, whichever, I don't know. Let me know. He was the younger brother. He is also in one other thing of note, and I think that most people,
you know, right?
Yeah, and I think other people would know if you like 80s movies. He was in the John Cusack movie Better Off Dead, which is the skiing movie if you need reference. There's not a lot of 80s ski movies, so it kind of helps narrow it down, especially with John Cusack.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look that one up for me.
It's pretty good. There's a weird claymation hamburger scene in the middle of the movie.
Nice. I miss that in movies. Just random ass animation scenes that have little or nothing to do with the movie.
Definitely. But so the movie also includes a paper boy. Again, if you've seen the movie, you already know who I'm talking about. He chases them down through the whole movie, wanting his $2. This is Damien Slade. Was that kid? He was the $2 kid.
The $2 kid.
Yeah,
not a bad gimmick name.
I agree.
That's pretty good. The $2 kid, Damien Slade.
Yeah,
should have went into wrestling.
And then the last person I'll mention is Tommy Hinckley. He plays Michael, which is Lori Loughlin's character, Sandy. It's her fiance. Yeah, there's a ring.
Got a little surfer on it.
Yeah, those are what I would say the main characters. We'll see them more than everybody else in the movie, minus one other person, Connie.
Yeah, Connie. She's kind of a secondary character.
Yeah.
Main secondary character.
So again, we can wait until we get to her to talk more about her. So you got, I say this all the time. You know me. I'd love to start with the song.
This one doesn't do that for us, though.
It's a minute.
Yeah.
It's a minute before we get music.
We get a cold open.
A long cold open.
It sets up the whole movie pretty good, but it takes,
really well.
Takes a minute.
But so it's narration from Bobby.
He tells us all about his parents.
We see him on a plane.
Yeah,
we don't even know what the plane is.
He's sitting on like the little stairwell.
Yeah, we don't even know why who plane yet.
Nope,
we just know
on
plane.
A plane.
He tells us his, again, like we already set up for you. Frankie is
old crooner, 60s, surfer guy.
He says his mom was part of the cult,
the mouse cult. She was in some weird mouse cult thing. But she was super popular amongst all the 12-year-old boys at the time. And I'm just over here, I'm like, truth.
No, he says the cult of the Mouseketeer.
The cult of the Mouseketeer.
Yeah. And then he said she was the first pinup for 12-year-old boys. Yeah. Which is both true and creepy.
Very true and very creepy. But,
right. Well, and he was very accepting of it.
Yeah.
He's just like, okay, it's cool to know what a bunch of 12-year-old boys were probably doing with pictures of my mom back in the day.
At least he's an open-minded kid, I guess.
I suppose. I guess that's what we're getting at. Then he tells us, an accident happened.
Yeah, his dad hit a big wave, knocked him out.
We don't talk about it, except for every night at dinner.
And yeah, after dinner time, it's time to talk about the accident where he got the kahuna knocked right out of him.
That's right. He was known as the Big Kahuna. Like we said, they never tell us his name in the movie. He was originally even wanted to name Bobby Little Kahuna.
Little Kahuna.
That's how hard they're trying to sell. Like that's his name.
That's his name is Big Kahuna.
That he was going to do that to his kid.
Motherfucker, your name is Frankie. Why can't I just call you Frankie? Frank even. It's a generic ass name.
Nope.
Right?
Can't do it. But so he tells us, like we said, at dinner time, he gets to hear about the accident. The accident is the reason they moved to Ohio.
And now he's a used car salesman.
Hey, you're knocking it down a peg. He owns the largest used car lot in all of Ohio.
All right. That's fair. Making some decent money doing that. But he's running himself ragged. And his team. Did you see that part? He's in there. He's just like, they're all like asleep around him and he's still talking. Well,
and I love they show us that the only time he even puts on a bathing suit, like a swim trunks anymore, is if he's fake being the surf. Yeah, he's standing on the fake surfboard and they're doing
Did you mist my hair? Don't mist my hair. I don't want my hair wet. Get it right in the chest.
Well, and the beauty here is like the fake surfing they're showing for him filming the commercial is exactly how they used to film the 50s and 60s beach movies. It's great.
It's the exact same way.
And so I love that reference.
It's not even a blue screen. It's literally just a projector.
A giant fake
of a wave behind him.
That's the way to do it,
That's the way you did it back then.
It works, right?
Yeah.
I guess.
You get a little bit more of a shadow, but you can do it.
In the middle of him telling us what's going on with his dad, we just actually get what we know as a flashback in a moment. But you'd think that we had somehow just skipped from whatever the fuck the plane was to this being
the movie,
right?
Like it's right now.
But it's actually not. This is still just
a flashback
from him. It's just different because again, like with his dad, right? It felt very choppy, so you knew
because you got little bits of like him.
But
working
this is
real
like
hard
literally like we're living in a scene.
Yeah, we get a full scene here.
But so yeah, he's like, and this is my mom. We literally get to see like outside the house. We get to see the zoom in on what their house in Ohio looks like.
Bringing groceries and shit in.
It's so. Again, if you didn't know better, you'd think we were already now in movie scene.
Right.
So bizarre. It's a weird choice on how to tell the story right now. Then he proceeds to just show us this moment of where he has a breakdown on his mom.
Over the peanut butter.
Over the sandwich. He's like, let me guess, Mom. It's the same thing, right?
It's the same thing that's been there in my every day of my whole life.
He goes on this crazy rant. Like when we see him on the plane, we get a look that he's in some crazy clothes, but people dress weird. And again, we don't even know why he's on the plane. So for all we know, it's just storytelling device, right?
Yeah.
Now's when we get to see that his everyday
is this weird
punk
rocker biker gimmick he's got going on.
Well, and after finding out who his parents are, and then now seeing what his mom is like, we get a clear image of why he's like this, right?
Of course.
He is hard trying to rebel against both who they were and who they are
right now.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's the double rebellion, right? Like he's like, goddamn, they were too wholesome back then, and they're the different kind of wholesome now.
It's like, oh, they were so chill and stuff back in the day, but now they're like lean too far into the responsibility to where dad, all he does is work, and mom just compensates with her feelings by shopping all the time.
Well, and again,
the massive pantry, just like 900 things of peanut butter.
It's not even just that either. It is the that she's living in the 50s, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
And
right? Like their house looks like it's straight out of the 50s or 60s.
She's Mrs. Beaver. What are you
She's
talking
wearing
about?
it's literally, normally you would think of like Aunt Bee or Mrs. Cleaver, and it's the blue checkerboard apron. She's just wearing a red version of that apron, right?
Oh, yeah.
So she is 100% rocking
50s mom right now.
It's very strange.
That's how she deals with her stress.
She makes him a peanut butter sandwich every day for lunch.
Because you need peanut butter.
And she's like, I don't understand why you're so upset. And he finally he tells her, I can't take it anymore. I just need something different. Don't you understand? And she goes, oh, I get it. Tomorrow you can have crunchy. The chunky.
What the? Yeah, that's what I wanted. Can I get like some jelly on my peanut butter?
Just, you know it, right? It's not. It's just
honey.
A plain.
Some honey.
You know these are plain peanut butter sandwiches every day since he was 6, right?
Yeah, I'd freak. You got to give me something different. At least with the jelly, you can change up the jelly. You can get different kinds. There's 9 million kinds of jelly, right?
Yeah.
Most of which I'm sure go with peanut butter rather well.
But like you said, we see while this is going on, he further elaborates that she was an extreme couponer before extreme couponing was a thing. This is her
little montage after our scene.
Right. Crazy part is I don't even know if we can say couponing because they don't even imply that she was trying to find a deal. She just buys in bulk. She might be paying full price for all of this.
The whole kitchen full of the brown bags and stuff.
She has more than I've seen some small mom and pops.
Right. She has a grocery store in her own house.
Yeah. She has a lot of shit.
Nice seeing those old labels and shit.
It was a good throwback.
That was pretty cool.
Well, and again, this is a movie that is definitely sponsored by some of them.
Yep, Campbell's.
Not all of them.
Skippy.
Well, no, I don't know because we see them this one time. I'm saying it's sponsored by Pepsi.
Oh yeah, we see Pepsi all through this freaking
Diet Pepsi cans
everywhere,
are all over. That's what I meant.
Everybody's drinking.
I don't know if this scene is like full sponsored by all of these people, but I mean, Pepsi definitely was a sponsor. Yeah, there's no way it wasn't.
Pepsi put the most money in, so they're like everybody has to carry a Diet Pepsi around. They're good. They do the 80s trick. It's not too much in your face. Yeah, they're just in the background, or if anybody's like drinking,
you definitely after it's over,
Pepsi.
You're like, holy shit, I did see a lot of Pepsi, didn't I?
Right? They're everywhere. After your second or third run through, you'll start being like, there's like 9 Pepsi cans.
It is a bit much. Pantry scene, I don't feel was like that sponsored, but it was just at a time where they didn't have to worry about people coming at them for stuff like that. It's cool to see a shot like that where you're just like, oh, those literal fucking name brand everything.
A lot of those soups don't exist anymore. Oh. Turkey and noodle. They had a gumbo in a can. I'm just like, wasn't nobody eating Campbell's gumbo? Nobody.
But so he tells us that due to the stress that his parents are under and the shocking closeness to snapping that they both are,
right?
They finally decided they needed a vacation. Now we understand why he's on the plane.
They're going to Hawaii.
Yeah.
Which is a great place for a guy who wears black all the time to go.
And leather. It's not even just black. It's
black and leather.
Because he is trying to be that kind of punk. Right, like he is like biker punk.
I got the spikes,
right,
and the chains and shit. With the like cabbie hat. Yeah, and shit.
I mean, because it still tries. He's clearly supposed to be a punk, not a biker, but it's definitely like
Easy Rider vibes,
right? Like it's total black motorcycle gear,
it is,
but with punk.
Aesthetic.
Like with punk patches sewn on. His hair is definitely very punk.
Stupid little switchblade fucking comb.
Double.
He's got 2
double switchblade comb. 1 would be okay, I guess. 2 is absurd, and he's just constantly clicking them, dude.
I know,
the whole fucking
movie. Time. He clicks him at his dad when he gets all his dad gets pissed. He clicks at him and shit, and I'm just like, fucking snatch that shit.
Yeah. So while we're on the plane, though, we get a moment where we get to see the fact that they are indeed supposed to be as famous as he was implying they were in the beginning. The flight attendant walks past and is just like, oh my God, that hair, that makeup, that voice.
You're Annette.
I know it, right?
She fangirls over.
Did you see the amount of like weird flailing Frankie was doing during the scene? Like he's like ups like the weird like what about this guy?
What about me?
You see her?
You see me?
And me?
Come on.
And this guy?
Notice me.
And then she goes, oh yeah, and you're the
big chihuahua,
right? And he goes, Kahuna. Yeah.
This is a recurring theme in the movie.
Like I said, this is the only time where it doesn't really make sense because once we leave the plane, we're in LA, and so
and then
it's
it
like
makes
everybody
sense for
just knows
to
surf history,
know who he is and shit.
Right? They just know surf history. So it's all good. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
That moment totally just exists for us to see that they are indeed as famous as he wanted us to think. It wasn't just like this kid is exaggerating
My mommy and daddy are more famous than yours.
We get to see that they are indeed actually.
Like, oh no, yeah, they actually do get recognized when they go out in public.
Oh yeah, right after the flight attendant leaves, we get our first of so many hard/helmet hair jokes, right? Like this is what Bobby's good for. In the beginning,
just taking a piss out of his dad.
He's the best narrator in the beginning. The things he says as narration are great.
Yeah.
But then the things he actually says, like the things his character, he is constantly roasting his dad about one thing or another, about what his dad is saying or doing
or how he looks.
It is amazing. Like, I mean, they're great. Like, it's literally like conversation is just going on, and real quick he'll just slide in with it and slide right back out.
One-liner.
It's so beautiful, and so I love that he got the first hard hair joke. So good.
He goes to smack at him and shit, and he acts so tough till you try to swing at him. He's like, Mom.
Yeah.
Just one time, all throughout the movie. Yeah, Frankie's just one. I just want to get him one time.
Then we get the funny joke of how it was dinner time on the airplane,
and he's about to start telling the story. Did I ever tell you guys about how I got in an accident? And just like,
And then, but we get saved from it. It's funny, in the beginning we never get to hear the story, right? Like every time we're about to, Bobby's like, I'm not gonna make you guys suffer through it. Well, the fact that we're only like 10 minutes into the movie and this is like the second or third time that we've almost gotten it already is probably a good sign of he tells it too much.
Every day at dinner time,
including dinner on the plane.
Doesn't matter where he's at.
Like I said, I already mentioned that they have a scheduled layover in LA.
Yeah, they're gonna visit their daughter Sandy. That's where she lives now.
A 10-hour layover.
It's a long one.
It is, especially because we see them land in the middle of the day, so it's a
3 o'clock in the morning flight.
That's a weird thing to make yourself do on what's supposed to be a fun vacation to Hawaii.
That is.
I understand seeing your daughter, but it's still weird.
Yeah, it's still a little weird.
As soon as we start talking about the daughter, though, right? Like, it's absurd the way he talks. Yeah. I'll give you that. But before we even talk about that, it's absurd because he starts acting like he forgot
that he had a daughter.
Well, or that they were that they had a 10-hour layover. You don't forget that.
You're pissed about that the whole day.
Right? Well, he acts almost like surprised, like, oh, that's right, I do get to see my daughter, and then he does this whole thing, my little baby, my Sandy, my little lammy whammy.
Everybody in the airplane like pulling the puke bags out. Oh, it's so sick and gross.
And then we get the line from Bobby, this is why we don't travel. I love it, dude. Bobby is golden.
He's so good. Get your music, man.
Yeah, this is where we finally get music. We get to see the beach.
Yeah.
This is the most 80s fucking thing I've ever seen. Because I don't know if you guys know what a beach in the 80s looked like, but a beach, well, or maybe not. I don't know.
I mean, I'm in Kentucky. A beach is like the shore of the lake to us.
Or certainly what movies would tell you a beach in the 80s looked like. Like, we all remember that the 80s was full of day glow clothes, but if you wanted to see the most day glow clothes, you went to the beach because all of that shit was so it was like they were trying to be brighter than the sun they were out hanging in front of. And so that's the movie just starts with this wicked song by Eddie Money. I had to look it up because I like this fucking song. Catch a Ride on a Wave. That's the name of the song. Catch a Ride on a Wave.
Hey, he busted brain cells coming up with that one, didn't he?
And whatever, dude. The song was dope, though. It is cliche 80s, but still, it's great.
Catchy and it works great for all the montage.
And it's all about going to the beach. Perfect. It's all about having a good time at the beach, man. And the writing for the whole scene is hot pink, that super over-exaggerated, like flowy cursive.
Yeah, I know.
You know, exactly. Tell me the writing doesn't even just give you...
Yeah.
It's Vice City.
It's Vice City. It is the Vice City.
For those kids too young to know, just by looking at it, that it's from the 80s, if you know the Vice City writing, it is that writing. That's what... It is that... Maybe a little bit more...
jagged.
It's a little bit more italics, right?
Yeah.
Like it's leaned a little bit more.
A little more jagged, but it's that pink.
But it is hot pink. Yeah. It is over-exaggerated loops, cursive writing for all of the opening intro. It, like I said, there is so much bright colors and crazy 80s beach, like weird cut bikinis. The three girls who, if you pay attention throughout the movie, are constantly in the background
with the yellow and and
The
black.
yellow, they're all different, but the same color scheme,
yeah.
right? Like, so it's not,
They're all
none of them are wearing,
blonde, too.
yeah, none of them are wearing the same bathing suit, but they are all like matching sister sets of
Yeah.
the same bathing suit. I
It's
don't
like
even
the
know.
same fabric.
Yeah, we don't need to get too caught up in the opening. I think everybody understands. 80s-tastic. 80s fantastic.
Right.
Sorry. I do want to mention one of the things that we saw before we leave. Well, maybe two actually. There was actually a few things in the montage. I'm sorry. I was going to wrap up this opening montage, but we saw some funny ass shit that I think we need to mention.
In the beach montage thing?
Yeah, when it opens. We need to mention the dude who pulls out the lawn chair on the surfboard.
Yeah, he just sits down on a lawn chair on the surfboard.
Because unlike the fakeness we'll see later, that's legit. That dude legit pulled out a lawn chair on a surfboard.
That was a real guy.
Yeah, so that's cool.
It's super impressive.
We see the punks on jet skis already.
Yeah, that looks super fun.
Again, he's wearing like a leather jacket out in the water.
And his jet ski's got like shit painted on the freaking side of it, like fucking the smokers from a water world.
And then the last one that I want to point out is the babysitting for 75 cents an hour sign.
I loved that, and I love that he just
He hands the baby off to the crazy big punk.
Fat punk guy with spiked hair.
Who is in way too much of this movie.
I love that guy.
I know, but tell me, he's in the background
totally
for
useless.
lots of scenes,
he has
too.
No lines, but he is in almost every scene, man.
Yeah, I love that. That's who they hand him over to.
And then they cut back, and the baby's all punked out now,
just hanging out.
Just hanging out with him.
He has now been taken over.
Yeah, see, the baby's fine. Don't worry about it. They took good care of him.
Now we can wrap up the intro.
Yeah, that's our surf intro.
Yeah, that was our music.
Right,
Felt the vibes. Definitely got you. The happy, like we're in a good mood.
We're gonna have a good time on this movie.
Then we immediately cut to in the airport. They just landed, and who pops up?
It's the juice.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Just happened.
We know you did that shit. And Frankie stepped on his hand, man. Did you see that shit?
The whole scene is great because Annette doesn't recognize him. The son is like, do you know who that is? They never say his name.
Nope.
And then he runs through the airport, right?
Yeah, but he looks good at first.
He's like, oh, it's definitely him. Then he trips and falls. And he's like, oh, that can't be him.
Nah, couldn't have been. And then Frankie steps on his hand. Maybe that's why the glove didn't fit.
Wouldn't that have been funny if that was his defense? He pulls in a copy of 1987's Back to the Peach and shoves it into the VCR.
See, they broke my hand. It's been bigger.
Look, Judge,
since.
I'm telling you right now.
Frankie Avalon, that motherfucker. He broke my hand.
Next witness, Frankie Avalon, sir. After that fun little romp, we hear that he's calling his daughter, right? To say, hey, we're here.
He gets an answering machine.
And here's one key phrase. What would you say that key phrase is that he hears?
We're not in right now.
What do you think she would mean by that? What do you think that means?
What does we? What does we mean?
What's we're not in? And then we hear from the backseat again. Normally, I can't tell you all of the funny fucking shit that Bobby says. This one I got for you
got
guys.
It word for word.
He says, "What's we're? What's this? What does we're mean? What's we? What's we?" And he goes, "Well, we would just be the plural form of I, Dad. Do you need me to conjugate that for you? Do you even understand what conjugating is?"
Then he tries to smack him again. And he squeals for mom.
Like, damn, that kid hit his dad hard, so dude. And so quick. Like, it was effortless how quickly he snaps it out.
Up by his shoulders. Like, you need me to conjugate that for you, Dad?
It was too good.
He still won't let it go. He keeps going about it until they pull up to the fucking
But I have to stop because I want to talk about this. They literally are only here for a 10-hour layover, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he rented a car, correct?
Nice one, too.
How are you renting this car? You're here for 10 hours. How are you renting this car? I looked it up. You know me, I'm not a car guy, but I was like, man, this is a sharp car. So I had to find out what kind of car it was. This is a 1958 Thunderbird.
Nice.
This man did not just rent this from the airport. It's absurd.
It's Frankie Avalon. I'm not riding around in a fucking cab.
That's what it is.
Give me the 57 Thunderbird, baby.
He said, I don't care how little it makes sense for the movie. You give me this car.
Give me this nice car.
And so they got him a nice car.
Hell yeah. It is a nice fucking car.
It is a nice.
I didn't even question it. I was just like, of course Frankie has this nice fucking car, right?
For a 10-hour layover.
Sure, pulled it out of storage. It's been there for years.
But yeah, like you said, they have this argument the whole way to her house.
Right. Who's we?
Now is one of those moments where I really got so annoyed, right? Because this car ride takes a minute. We see it from the airport slowly as they're getting closer to the beach, right? So we see like the different parts of LA as they're going.
Yeah, and Annette's all excited. She's like, oh, look, check it out. It's our old beach and all this other shit.
Bobby is constantly in the background of this scene.
I wish I had something that clicked. So you just
clicking this fucking comb open and closed and open and closed. Because it's a real switchblade.
Yep.
You push button both ways.
It springs out and it comes back. Just click back and forth.
Click, 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 click.
Super
click,
nice.
click,
Probably
click,
an
click,
expensive ass fucking comb, but fuck, kid, lay off.
It was so annoying.
Yeah.
So annoying.
Yeah, my kid, he'd have lost that shit. As soon as he went to sleep, I'd have found it and been like, oh, I don't know. He must have misplaced it. I don't know where it went.
Yeah, Annette's ready to relive their glory days. Frankie
she wants to sing a song in the car. And
Frankie is very uninterested.
he does not want to do any of this shit. He just wants to go visit Sandy, get on the plane, get to Hawaii, screw this beach, right? He's being kind of a dick.
He's being a huge dick. Again, can't sing with his...
Right.
Even if we don't believe the surf movies, therefore the fact that they sang together all the time, right? Like those weren't movies that... But they both were people who sang. That part's still true. Right, like she was still
whole careers.
She was still a Mouseketeer. He was still actually Frankie Avalon. It's kind of a slap in the face to be like, I'm not going to sing with you right now. It's a super.
He basically tells her to shut up, sit down.
Pretty much.
You don't really like him much in the beginning of the fucking movie, do you?
Now we get another nice like montage of the beach because they're getting close enough to see like now's when we're seeing the montage of their beach, not just generic like beach in general, which is what the first one was.
We get to see like what's
this is like the beach where we're gonna this is the beach where we're gonna be for the rest of the movie.
Yep, this is the
section
area.
This is the section of beach we're hanging out at.
I like the carnival ride things they got where it's like
pretty dope.
Like you stay on the surfboard and try not to fall in the pool.
It's definitely pretty dope. It's pretty nice. It's a pretty dope looking little section of beach. We see that there's a big pier. We see that her place is upstairs in the pier.
On a pier, and he's like not okay with it. My daughter lives on a pier.
Yeah, not there yet.
Oh yeah.
First we get to go inside for a second.
Yeah.
Because this is it's hilarious how it starts because it starts with the dude being pissed off about the soap on a rope.
He comes in, he's like, "You leave my soap on the bathroom floor again. It gets all soggy and mushy, and then it disappears, and then I have just rope."
She just is like, maybe you get some soap that's not on a rope.
He's like, maybe I just throw you on out the window, huh? And he picks her up, and it's all giggly and fun.
But so we see Sandy she's got a nice, healthy relationship.
Yeah,
I would say
he seems like a super nice guy.
They obviously, I mean,
he's
it's a pretty nice looking
and handsome.
It's a pretty nice looking place too.
Dude, I would live there.
It looks
super
good.
Nice.
Then we hear that she gets her voicemail. Right?
Yeah, she listens
her answering
machine. Wrong era.
And so she hears on her answering machine that call we heard.
Yep, and then she looks out the window and sees the car coming.
Do you notice how crazy it is that he's driving on this pier?
That's what I said. I was like, how do you?
Nobody else is driving.
There's nowhere to turn around.
Nobody else is driving on the pier.
Right?
No other cars are parked on the pier.
He's Frankie goddamn Avalon.
He just drives like
wherever he wants.
Whatever. Yeah, she looks out the window just in time to see him driving on the pier. He's commenting at the same time, like, a pier? She lives on a pier?
Why is my daughter living on a pier? And that's just like, I recall one summer you lived underneath the pier.
That was good. That was a good line.
He's like, my daughter is not me.
Then we get out and we see that she lives above bait shop. That's what he says, right? He flips out. It's a bait shop. Can't believe no daughter of mine's gonna live above a bait shop. He completely looks past the fact that the sign says bait and tattoo shop.
I figured he'd be more upset about the tattoo. Right?
I would definitely assume he'd be more upset about the tattoo. But also, can we talk about how unsanitary it would be to sell bait?
Unsanitary.
Bait for the ocean. So we're talking other dead
fish, squid, things
next
like
to
that.
Tattoo.
Not like we got here where it's just a little.
Well, that's still good.
A little Tupperware dirt with some worms.
But you're still saying dirt.
Not half rotted fish.
I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying I don't know if either is better. But yeah, I would have assumed that the bigger problem would have been the tattoo.
No daughter of mine lives above a tattoo shop is what it should have been.
Yeah, but no, he's upset about the bait. Then we see upstairs, she's in a mad panic. She starts throwing her boyfriend's shit right out the window.
All his clothes and stuff. And he's just like...
Skateboard?
He's like...
Surfboard?
What if we just like tell him and stuff? Because,
he's like...
I want to marry you and all this stuff. It's good.
We should take this first step. He's totally on board. And I agree.
Yeah.
Then we start hearing how insane when Frankie is outside, right?
He is gonna bash this door open.
He's gonna cut toes off, right? I do believe I heard him say something
he's gonna
about
cut
toes.
his toes off, sell them at the bait shop.
Yeah,
then he uses Bobby as a battering ram.
He straight up is bad. Like this is
His own son.
This is a comedy thing that you wouldn't see today.
Yeah, you wouldn't do this now.
The implication of that level of
child abuse
is not something that we take lightly. I miss those days. So.
Right, where you could use
what you want.
When you could use a child as a battering ram.
Say what you want. This was funny.
It was hilarious because he just keeps smashing his head against the door, and he's just like, ah.
She finally gets all of his shit, and at this point, Michael is scared, and he's like, "You're right." And
You're
he
right.
jumps out
Later,
the window.
dives out the window.
When she finally opens the door, the icing on the cake to the joke of the battering ram is he throws his head in, and so the last time the door opened, so he doesn't hit something, and it comes up at the arc, right? Like it's literally like the perfect like and when he's at the top of the pirate ship ride
right
arc, he looks up and goes, "Oh, hey sis,
I'm glad to see you. I really mean that."
It was so perfect. I will, though, give credit to Frankie. He did take his hat off.
He did. Put it on his own head, even. He's like, I will not mess up your hat.
No, the only problem with this is if you're getting bashed against that wooden door, that leather hat might have been...
A little bit of a cushion.
Might have been nice.
Yeah, it might have helped.
Right? Old school football helmets weren't much more than just that, right? Like a leather hat. They come in the door. Frankie instantly starts rummaging through her place.
Yeah.
This is not a dad going to visit his 19-year-old. She is 19. I'm not trying to say that. But this is not a dad going to visit his 19-year-old daughter at college.
No, this is her fucking house.
This is a place that she pays the rent for with a job that she has with a boyfriend who has his own job who is also paying part of the rent.
Yep.
None of this is daddy's money as far as we know.
Yeah. Doesn't seem like it, or it seemed like she'd have a nicer place.
Right? So I had major issues with him coming in and just rummaging through her shit in that manner, right?
Yeah, I agree. So he just busts the door open and starts going through all of her fucking
I'd have been
stuff.
like, fuck no.
And she's still trying to like get stuff out the window.
Well, she does. She throws some more shit.
She throws the surfboard.
Yeah, remember?
He's like, what was that? I saw a thing.
What just went? And did you see the thing? I don't know what the thing that I was supposed to saw. Whatever she says. It was like a...
She's just like, I saw something, but I don't know what thing you think
it was.
It
was like a tongue twister. It was so good.
Just
I was
to
just like, it was so good.
She's covering her ass.
No, that's exactly what
it was. I saw it, but I'm not going to tell you.
Exactly, that's what
I may or may not have seen the surfboard that went out the window. But he's not that stupid. He goes and looks, and you can clearly see Michael like surfing, trying to collect his clothes and then the surfboard.
He looks over at Bobby. And he goes, "That Bobby with me.
Let's go. We're gonna roll out and get that son of a bitch.
We're gonna find this guy. I got this."
Right.
After they run out the door, Sandy has a breakdown to her mom.
Comes clean. That's my
comes
boyfriend.
Up and asks her. She's just like, "What's going on?"
That's my boyfriend.
In that very like Leave It to Beaver style too, right? Like that. Drop your head to the side.
Now tell mommy what happened.
Right. She does. She breaks down. She's like, "Well, we've been living together for 6 months. He's a really great guy, but I knew if I told Dad, he'd freak out. Exactly like what just happened.
Like
so I didn't know what I was supposed to do, and now I really don't know what I'm supposed to do because now everything's going to hell.
What do we do, Mom?
Let's go shopping." They don't go shopping.
I know.
Did she really mean let's play dress up?
I guess
Because she does change her
they
clothes.
Do change outfits.
And she held up a bag of clothing.
I guess.
It was weird, right? It was weird that she said shopping, but shopping never happens. Was there a scene that was cut?
There was probably
where they went shopping?
There was a montage.
Well, because they're gone. The guys are gone for a while. This little scene where they're gone is definitely a minute because we see them run down the beach. They're not by the pier. They're full on down the beach before they finally accidentally stumble on Zed Town. Right? Or Zedville? Or what's the sign say? Zed City? I don't remember, but it's Zed something.
I am Zed, god of the beach.
Well, he says, this is my beach, right? That's what he says. This is so messed up because he has a section of beach. It is so small, right?
It's just sectioned off.
It's such a tiny little piece.
His little territory.
If you go from where the sign was to the lifeguard tower that they took over, I'd say what, like 50 yards?
Yeah, like half a football field.
50 yards, right? From sidewalk to beach line, 50 yards on either side other than that.
It helps him with his inferiority complex to think that he is a god of this 50-foot area.
It does, though. We're not giving enough justice. These are the surf punks, right?
The surf punks.
Now, these are not surf Nazis.
No.
last movie, Point Break, we had some surf Nazis.
These are just punk surfers.
These are just regular punks. Because again, those were in Point Break, they were surf Nazi punks, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they were definitely full on punks, but they were Nazi punks. But yeah, so this one we want to make clear, as far as we can see, none of them are supporting any kind of.
I saw no swastikas at all. They are just regular punks who like to surf
and wear lots of leather on the beach. beach.
Which looks like it would suck.
So bad, dude. That one chick is wearing a leather bikini.
Yeah,
I'm like,
no.
ouch. That doesn't.
And it's going to get ruined once you get in the water.
You just want to look at her like, that's for the bedroom, not for the actual beach,
you wear that for 5 fucking minutes before you get busy. You're like, you're taking that shit off real quick.
You're not wearing that around the sand and the water. They have very much so angered these surf punks by showing up. And again, it's not even just that they showed up on the beach. It's how little Frankie cares.
He has no fucks to give for these people. He insults their boards, how they look, all this other shit.
Well, and Bobby is enamored, right? Bobby is in love.
Bobby is just like, I just want to make it clear that I hold a very different opinion. And he is staring at Zed like he is indeed a god.
Yeah. Now we get the official first hair helmet, right? The first time we get a hard hair, Zed throws out the first of the many hair helmets. Right. From this point on, hair helmet becomes the go-to
insult for
Frankie's hair. And it's perfectly placed when he drops it right here. Frankie tries to be a badass, right? He hits him with the hair helmet, and Frankie's like, oh, we're gonna talk about hair.
It looks like
we're gonna talk about hair.
Looks like you guys got a blind guy do your hair or something.
That would be funny, dude. Okay, yeah. Blind guy would be funny. He tries to go that joke, but fucks it up. It's like how Chris Farley and Tommy Boy can't get the fucking butcher joke right. Okay,
yeah,
like it's close, but it's not actually right. Because what Frankie says is, it looks like you got your hair cut at the Braille Barber College, which is not funny because Braille is how they read.
I guess do you have textbooks at Barber College? At Braille textbook, I guess.
But you see my point.
Yeah, you have to analyze it too much for it to be a joke.
Not actually, like, the joke would just be that you had a blind guy do your hair.
Yeah.
And he tried to do that.
And he fucked it up. And Bobby's just over just like, oh, we're gonna fucking die.
Well, Frankie was so close.
He was, but he has no fucking fear, though. He even knocks over their fucking boards on his way out.
This is that first time. I think this is maybe a good time to even stop. We said we'd come back to this earlier.
This is a very good part.
To stop and address this.
He talks about their short-ass little boards.
And I will agree. Me and Bo both... Again, we don't talk a whole lot before we start, but this is one of those things of contention we had to talk about immediately.
These boards are like 4 foot fucking long. They are short as fuck.
And so, again, the whole point of the movie is the longboard. Like we said to you guys, longboard, that's our connection.
Yeah, because that's what Frankie says here. He's holding up Zed's board. And he's like, these things are toys. But,
and I agree, though. Ones. These things are not.
No, they're not.
We
like
looked
the
it
ones
up.
we saw today.
We looked it up. Bo found out 6 foot.
6 to 8
That's
feet.
The bottom. 6 foot is the bottom.
Is the bottom
of the average height of a modern, as in today, surfboard.
So in
1987, either these ones we see in the movie are not supposed to be the average surfboard, and they just like to surf something weird on that beach,
or Zed is 6'8",
or in the 80s they might have been shorter boards on average.
I can see it probably,
and we went back to going slightly longer again.
Yeah.
But yeah, the idea is that the longboard should be fucking long.
Right? Like 9 feet.
In this movie, the longboard that he surfs is specifically probably only what we found as an average modern day surfboard.
7 feet long, right?
It's just that in comparison to these crazy short boards these guys are riding, it looks really big.
Yeah, it does. Because these boards are 5 feet. Easy.
We're not surfers. I've never been on a surfboard in my life.
If any surfers hear this, man, educate.
Yeah, let us know how wrong we are if we're wrong. But we're just going by what our eyeballs saw
and a cursory Google search
from those.
But it just seems because Zed's board is shorter than him.
Oh, definitely. All of those boards fell down, and most of the people standing there were taller, minus the women, than the boards that fell.
And Frankie, not a tall man.
No. Then after their little moment, they're on the beach. They make it back, and they're telling Annette about everything that happened, and Annette's like, did you have fun? And Bobby goes off. Bobby's like, we met these rude guys, and he gave this weird speech. He's like, these rude, crude, blah 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 blah.
They were gonna kill us.
It was so cool.
Right, and I'm over here, I'm like, I expected that response from him. I was like, yeah, that's how he would react to that. He's like, I almost died. That was awesome.
And then she's just like, as long as you had fun.
Right?
Again, 50s style mom.
Yep.
Why she's a mom for the 50s when she would have been 12, I don't know. But she's definitely modeled after a 1950s mom. This is also when, if you're paying attention, you'll see that she did have an outfit change. The only reason I noticed is because I was trying to figure out the shopping line, and this was the first time we see her after she says, "Let's go shopping."
That's got to be what it is. She just bought a new outfit.
I guess, dude.
What about Sandy? Did she have a different outfit?
I wasn't paying attention to Sandy.
If
I'm
they're
not gonna
both
lie.
in different outfits.
Well, but
that's what
Sandy's
I'm
about to
going
go to
with.
work, so she.
So she would be like in her uniform, right?
Yeah, so that's what we're about to see. We're not really jumping anything.
No, they cruise over to Daddy-O.
Well, they weren't even going to go in because
no, they were just dropping her off because she works there.
The way the scene goes, though, we don't even know that. Like, they don't tell us anything in the right order, right?
No.
The way the scene happens is we see them pull up outside Daddy-O's. We don't know why. Frankie talks about it like they're just driving past the place. Annette starts saying, "Dick Dale, we need to go in." Because it's like when we were teenagers. And then while talking is when Sandy says, "Well, we need to do something because I'm going to be late to work." This is how fucked up the scene is. She just says, "I'm going to be late." So it's not implying there. We don't know that that's where she needs to go to work until she follows them inside.
Yeah.
The scene is not handled the right way. That's why I was saying, like, it's very weird.
Yeah.
We don't know about work until it's the wrong time.
We're going to do it backward. We're not going to tell you that, like, it's not going to go, "Oh, hey, look, check it out. It's the place we used to hang out when we were kids. Oh, cool. I work here. Isn't that neat? Nice. Dick's still here. Dick's always here." That's how it should have went.
But no, instead they're like, "Hey, here's this restaurant. Do we know this place? I don't know. We're kind of just driving past." It's they didn't do it right.
No.
They didn't do it right. But we'll go back again. I want to point out some of the fun stuff in the scene, but I just had to let you know it literally hurt my brain with how weirdly they tried to give you information in the scene, though. We do see that it is Dick Dale, who is, again, not someone anybody's going to know. He was in these beach movies back in the day. He was the rock guy in some of these beach movies.
Dick Dale in the Deltones.
That's right. The sign outside the Daddy-O's club says Dick Dale and at least two of the Deltones appearing every weekend. Or it says still appearing weekends.
Every weekend for the past 25 years and shit.
That's even brought up when they're outside because Annette's like, "Look, we gotta go in and see him." And Frankie says, "Look, we could come back in 20 years. Dick Dale is gonna be inside and we can go say hi." I was like,
"There's
damn,
no rush
dude.
on this. He is being a real dick still."
Oh, definitely, dude. He is definitely still an asshole.
Yep, he does not want to be here. He just wants to catch the flight and go to fucking Hawaii and fuck this place.
That's right. But so like we said, then they all they convince him to go inside. He's like, "Fine, I'll park the car. You guys go in." This is when we realize she works there. So weird, so dumb how they handled everything.
Still haven't even mentioned that this is where they used to hang out either. They don't do that until they meet Connie. Then it's like, "Oh, this was like the hangout
she
spot."
She says, "I bought it." Yeah.
I was like, you should have said that when we first fucking got here.
None of it, dude. Again, all of it's done weird.
Annette should have been the one like, "It's our old hangout place. It's still here. Look." No.
We get inside, right? Bobby disappears. Where the fuck did Bobby go?
Yes, I guess. I don't know.
We at least know, again, we weren't told that this was Sandy's job, but at this point we can assume that, so we know that that's why she's not standing here. But so then Annette's just sitting at a table by herself.
Yep, suddenly just reading a menu. It's just so Troy can come.
It is. I mean, it served a purpose.
But why? We walked inside and we cut to Annette by herself. Where the fuck did everybody go?
Yep. So Troy comes up. He tries to pull. Well, we don't even know he's Troy yet.
Yeah, he
it's so long before we find out this dude's name, but we know he's Troy.
Yeah, but I like Troy.
He pulls out the stunned mullet.
The stunned mullet. Once got a girl one of these and she got so drunk she danced on this very table.
She got naked and did the pony. And that says, "What's the point of telling me that story?" "Oh, nothing."
I wanna buy you
no, he
too.
says, "Oh, nothing, but I want to buy you too."
He's that sleazebag.
Oh, yeah. Well, he is literally Quagmire, right? He is literally
Quagmire.
A hot Quagmire.
Right.
All of the dumb nasty laugh perversion jokes of Quagmire, but he just happens to be a hot guy.
Yeah, big muscles and the tan and the blonde hair and shit.
But yeah, so he's just hitting on her hard, right?
Man.
Frankie walks in, he sees it. He immediately walks up and he goes, "Oh, the stunned mullet."
Chugs it.
Like it's nothing.
And
again, we don't know what's
Tells
in it.
him
Nobody
to
ever
get it.
tells us, but we know it has to be something strong, right? That's the implication here.
Totally punks him. Just like, "Why don't you come back with a real drink or something like that?"
What was in this, though? Did you see the weird blue milk mustache it left on Frankie's face?
It's the blue milk.
It's something disgusting. I was like, man, I don't know if I want to drink that. Out of a pineapple?
Right, definitely something that came out of a blender.
This is one of those moments, though, that I was telling you that dumb punk guy is in way too much. He's just floating in the background of the restaurant scene. Constantly in the back of Daddy-O's.
Just
like
in the back. Almost every shot, he's just back
And again,
there.
like, this is a point where we now know that they're not supposed to be liked by people. Right? In the beginning, when we see the babysitting joke, we don't know that people don't like him. For all we know, he's just a friendly, he just looks weird. Everybody loves him, right? But now we know he's part of the group that nobody likes. So it doesn't make sense that he's just hanging out at Daddy-O's all fine with no issues. It does look like he might have been causing some kind of issue, because if you notice, Connie's entrance comes from her screaming at him.
No, that's right.
And then she walks on the scene.
Yelling at him about something.
Like, that's in the background, and then she walks into foreground.
He's not supposed to be in there.
Because she sees Frankie. If you haven't caught on to the fact that they don't say Frankie, this is when it really, like, gets cemented in your head, because she comes running up. You would expect someone to use somebody's real name.
Yeah. If you haven't seen him in 20 years or something.
She comes running up, Kahuna!
It's Kona, I can't believe you're here. And just starts kissing the fuck out of him like 5 times.
Well, and fawning all over him. He doesn't say nothing.
Right in front of my wife.
Annette walks up. She is standing there, disgusted.
Oh, yeah, like, what
upset,
the fuck are you doing?
Ready to cut him with the knife she doesn't have.
Get your goddamn hands off my man.
Well, and then I love this joke. We get Connie says, somebody get me Annette. She's talking about, well, because she was talking about like how crazy it was, and she wasn't going to let him go. Right? Like, it's crazy that the Kahuna's here. Somebody get me Annette. I can't believe I caught him. And
she
then
just walks up,
and then
right
Annette
at that
walks
time,
up,
and then like, that's
and
not
he
the
goes,
one I meant.
he goes, oh, and you remember my wife Annette? And she goes, well, that's not the net that I was talking about.
That's not what I meant.
That's not the kind of net I meant.
I meant more of a fishing net, maybe a butterfly even.
I don't know why that's so funny, but that catches me.
Her delivery on it is so good.
It's so
just
great,
so dry.
So this is one that I'm going to let you know, because I don't know how much of a beach movie person you are.
I've seen like a couple of the Elvis
She is
ones.
From those.
Oh, is she really?
Connie Stevens is an actual beach movie person. She was just like she said, like you hear her say.
She was the bad girl.
Like you hear her say, she was the bad girl. She was the one that the guy wasn't necessarily that he was gonna flirt with, but he wasn't actually trying to hook up with. You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't trying to stay with, because you got to think of the time.
That's not the one you take home to mom.
Yeah.
That's the one you make out with under the pier.
When he was living under the pier.
Yeah, when he was living under the pier, you're damn right that's what they were doing.
That is the joke here, is that they literally found another beach person to be in here with them.
Nice.
To be here with them. To be the one owning what we find out now is the bar that they hung out in.
Yeah, that they all hung out in. Because she still has all of his shit.
Well, she has a shrine to him. She says, come look at my shrine. Here's further cement. This is what I mean. This whole scene cements that they will not be using his name, right?
Nope.
Because it's a shrine to him. It's just pictures of him. It's his surfboard. It's things of him, right?
His microphone from when
still no fucking name. It still just says Big Kahuna.
That is who he is.
That's the moment you know that the name is never coming into play.
We are never ever
if there
gonna
is
say
a
his name.
Shrine to him,
and it doesn't Frankie, right?
It should say Frankie Big Kahuna, right? In quotes, right? Nope, that's not what we get.
There's got to be some kind of rights issue.
If it's not a rights issue, it was a weird, deliberate decision.
Yeah, weird,
like, this isn't just a
joke.
This isn't. Yeah, exactly. This is not just a by coincidence.
Somebody thought this was hilarious.
Yeah, it is either a joke or a rights. Yeah, it's one of the two.
It's the only fucking way that this shit happens.
But what's amazing to me is at the shrine, and I don't know if it's just because I have a TV that's big enough, or if it was meant to be this noticeable. But dude, you could see that the head of Annette was cut out of that picture.
It was cut out
from like the walk up to the shrine. Like, I immediately was like, God damn, look at that head cut out of that.
Yeah, I saw it too.
And Annette gets up there.
I was just like, oh, that's weird. There's something missing from that picture.
Oh, and then I knew what it was.
And then she's just
Annette goes, there's not a picture of me up here anywhere. And she specifically
points that picture
and shows it to him to be like, because there should be.
Connie's just like, it's a joke. Calm down. You got him. You won. I'm like, that's fair. You did win.
But
you're not helping,
But
bitch.
the way they're acting.
Oh,
right now,
She has every right to
would
be
you
fucking
feel like
pissed.
you're winning?
My ex would have been so goddamn mad
Right?
at me.
You don't feel like you're winning in that moment.
No.
For sure.
Frankie's whole tune has changed at this
Oh
point.
yeah, well no,
he's
like
having a great.
he's up at the
time.
shrine. He even like sings Venus for a second, right?
For a
He's
second.
like, oh Venus.
Yeah, remember, haha.
Well, and then she says, "You got to sing a song with me."
You can't leave without singing a song. And he's like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. And fucking Annette's over here just like,
Do we remember 10 minutes ago? Well, 10 minutes ago in the movie,
right?
several hours ago,
Probably
in their time. But yeah, 10 minutes
For
ago in
us.
the movie.
Motherfucker, you
This
did
was
not want to sing with me.
This was a deliberate problem in the car. This was a fight already.
I believe you told me to shut up.
This was very bad.
He's
But he
in a lot of
decides to
trouble at
sing
this
anyway.
point.
He doesn't even care, dude.
No.
He's so oblivious to it.
Completely.
He asks Dick Dale, he says, "Do you know how to play Venus?"
Are you
Are
asking,
you asking me? Dick Dale? If I know how to play Venus? No. But I know how to play this. So fucking random. I love it though.
This was so bad too. I thought he could sing. What was this? Could he?
Well, this
what was wrong with
it's
this?
because they were wanting it to be everybody. Like, okay,
It's so monotone though.
the movie was made, right? This is just like Little Shop of Horrors. It's like a musical that's not a musical in every way other than the fact that songs pop up out of nowhere.
Okay.
So this was supposed to be that the audience was chanting with them. They just didn't. That's how I take it, dude, because they chose a song like Warm California Sun, where it's very much like, in the warm California sun. It takes over to being easy for people to catch and chant to.
But they did.
Nobody did it.
I don't know. It was super bad.
But yeah, that is what I feel it happened here. I feel like the crowd just didn't cooperate.
Yeah.
And this was definitely a movie shot with a small budget. So when they were like, oh, fuck.
That was the shot.
They didn't cooperate. We got it. We just got to
it.
go with it and make it look as good as we can.
That's how it sounds.
Because Connie gets into it.
Yeah. She sounds better than him. He's so monotone through this entire song. And
again, and later he sings well. I know. I
he
get
sings
it.
totally fine later.
I understand where you're coming
Annoys
from.
me.
Maybe
Bad day. He was sick, I guess.
I don't know. I agree, though. It wasn't great.
Yeah, it wasn't great. Not a great rendition of California Sun. But he's in so much goddamn trouble now. Annette is so fucking pissed.
Well, yeah, because like I already mentioned, Connie got up there too. So it's not even just that he sang. He sang with another woman after saying he didn't want to sing at all and definitely wasn't going to sing with her.
And then has the goddamn nerve to tell her to fucking relax.
And then they missed.
See, he's never talked to a woman before.
Well, and before it started, she was trying to tell them they're going to miss their flight.
Yep.
And as soon as it stops, what do they find?
We missed our plane.
And he still doesn't care.
Oh man, time flies when you're having fun.
Shut up. No, don't even finish. He didn't get to finish it. He didn't even get to finish it. He said, time flies when you're having, and she said, if you finish that, so help me.
There's a lot of sharp objects in this room, is all I'm saying, man. Better watch. But then he tries to get all pissy. He's like, fine, I knew this was, but we're going to go right back to Ohio.
We're going back to Ohio.
She's just like, well, fuck you. Look, motherfucker, I'm going to go hang out with my daughter. And I'm going to go have myself a good time. And I don't particularly care what you fucking do. And then walks off. Big pop from the crowd.
Yes,
right?
I was about to say, because the fight, of course, was in front of everybody.
It's
Troy,
he's just like, oh, fuck yeah, I got a shot now.
That's exactly.
He's like doing the hair in the background.
That's exactly what it was.
Fucking, his background acting is so great.
See Lori Loughlin coming back to her place, pitch black in her apartment.
There's some guy in there.
It is his apartment.
I know,
but she
does try to play it like it's sinister.
And she attacks the fuck out of him.
She bites
though
the shit out of his hand. Like, well, what do you expect? You come out of the dark and grab somebody.
Well, this is what I said. Again, Michael couldn't have known that her parents were showing up. Yeah. He doesn't know about the fight.
Nope.
He's lucky that Annette's the parent that was coming with him, not Frankie, because Frankie could have been right there behind him. And
yeah, he's just in a towel.
It could have been bad.
He even fucking go throw your ass out that window again. Ain't gonna bother
he's hanging out in the towel,
either.
and she's like, "You got to put some clothes on." And this is when she informs him, "Mom and Dad are fighting, and they're going to be here for God knows how long now."
And
he's like,
Mom's
"What?
Coming here in a minute.
I don't have other clothes.
You threw them all out the window. Tuna are eating my clothes right now."
And she's just like, "Well, too bad. That's what it is.
Too bad you got to go." And he's just like, "But this is some bullshit. This is my house."
This morning, I had a girlfriend and an apartment
and clothes.
Yeah, like he just went over this.
Now
list.
I got to go find new clothes, a new apartment, and and maybe a new girlfriend.
Well, again, she
just
stops him before you finish. Just like mom.
Yeah.
Just like mom. She was like,
don't you throw your juvenile bullshit threats at me.
and she's right, though.
Yeah, that was going a little far.
Because like she says right now, she's like, look, I'm dealing with family crisis. Like, the last thing you need to do is try to throw some shit on me because
Right.
I'm trying to deal with this.
I might have not done it well, but you don't throw kinds of threats like that, motherfucker, unless you mean it.
Right.
He's like, well, fuck you, I did. So she takes the little ring off, gives it back to him. He's like, oh, fucking ring with a surfer on it. It's a good thing
I
you're not
wasn't
a
a
plumber. I'll be walking around with a toilet bowl in my hand. I'm just like, God, bitch, that's a little harsh.
He walks out the door with the like angry laugh.
Yeah.
Ha, 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 ha. I can't believe this. Ha, ha.
I'm not going to act like I am upset.
There's another great line from Bobby. Am I now a troubled child from a broken home? And not like he said it like he was sad, but then when she was like, no, he was like, oh, man.
Damn it. That would have looked great on my punk resume.
Right?
Really would have.
I'm telling you, I love the fuck out of Bobby, dude. Just for the little moments like that.
And Annette knows that Frankie's going to come back. She knows him. She knows what he's going to do before he does it, right? That's what she says.
Yeah. We get somebody making the Gilligan joke before Michael left, right?
Yeah,
he
before
made the
he
joke.
left, he made the Gilligan joke.
Which is great because when he makes the joke about how, again, like, this is like an ill-fated Gilligan's Island. Like, it was supposed to be a 3-hour tour, and now they're here forever. We cut to poor Frankie, right?
Yeah, he's at the bar.
He's still at Daddy-O's, and guess who the bartender is? None other than Bob Denver Gilligan
Motherfucking
himself.
Gilligan. In full gimmick. Got the shirt and the hat.
Well, not
everything.
even in full gimmick.
He is Gilligan.
Gilligan. But they constantly make reference from this point to the end of the movie because he is constantly here.
He's
He
just-
pops up.
Because Frankie says something and he's just like, yeah, I've been away for a long time. He's like, oh, you've been in jail? He's like, no. There were women.
But it was like jail.
There were women, but you couldn't touch them.
Yeah.
You want to hear about it? No, I don't want to hear about it.
Well, and then he gets some kind of drink and it's in a coconut and he goes, let me tell you, I used to live with a guy.
He could make a nuclear reactor out of a couple of these and a pice of string, but could he fix a
2-foot
wide hole in a boat? No. You want to hear about it? No.
Sounds like the Midwest is for me. Well, I didn't even understand what that line was.
He's like, screw the beach. I got to get away from the fucking ocean.
But yeah, so it was very weird, but we just it was a fun scene to see with Gilligan, and we just get to know that he's getting way too drunk.
Right.
Connie surprisingly being very respectful, despite the fact that she does kind of seem like she's trying to be a homewrecker 90% of the movie.
Oh, she's down. If he would have asked, because he does say, he's like, I got a question for you, and she's just like, I've been waiting for 20 years.
I know.
Like, she was super down.
But that's what I'm saying. In this moment, though, she did really well.
Yeah,
she
she did.
walked away. He's too drunk. She told fucking Gilligan, cut him off. Just juice, fruit juice only.
Get him another drink, but mostly juice.
Yeah.
Mostly fruit, I think she said.
Mostly fruit.
Which I'm like, that's actually a slick way to kind of wean a dude. Like, yeah, I'll just give you some juice. You ain't gonna know the fucking difference.
Then we cut from there back to Annette and Sandy, right?
Eating peanut butter. I want to add.
Well, and
It's
mom,
weird.
literally, my fiance just walked out, and your husband of I don't know how many years just left you, and everything just seems like it's going the
past-
worst possible place
Our
it
lives
can.
have been ruined in the past
And you just
6
seem
hours.
like everything's okay. I don't understand. And she just goes, I just think everything will turn out.
Yeah, everything will just work out okay. Okay,
But why do you think that? I don't know.
don't
I'm
know.
lucky like that, I
it just
guess.
will.
No, she literally says,
Permanent
I'm just
Mouseketeer.
lucky like that, I guess.
You know what? I believe her. Like, I'm like, outside of movie, even, I just believe her that shit works out for her.
Again, I'll point out, though, the MS.
Yeah, but she still was like a hardcore bitch about it.
It was probably not the easiest. Things didn't always go easy.
Yeah.
She had one or two bumps.
One or two.
one or two
a
bumps
few
in a row.
minor inconveniences, I'm sure. She nipped up. It's fine.
But so yeah, in the middle of this weird conversation about how things will just work out, she says, I do have an idea about how we can make ourselves feel better, cheer ourselves up.
Right?
Pajama party. Holy fuck, dude.
Where do they get these pajamas?
I've
never seen any person ever wear pajamas like this.
Well, these are like total little camisole things.
Right?
This is what a woman in her 30s might wear in bed for a guy. My wife was even like,
The fuck is this
these
shit?
19-year-old girls
They don't have this
don't
shit.
own those
No.
for pajama party night.
Especially fucking Sandy. Did you see her? She had like the 15th century pantaloons with the frilly ones, and she's like, what the fuck are you wearing?
It's
And-
all so strange.
And then cue goth punks from nowhere.
Well, the pajama party's inside and everything's fine at first, but then the pajama party spills out to her patio that's in front.
Yeah.
And then as soon as it spills out is when the punks hear the party and they're like, oh.
So I guess they all just live next door.
I don't even know if they were supposed to I don't understand what that was.
They just showed up from
nowhere. They came out a door for sure. I get that. But I mean, I don't know. My problem with this is sexual assault, dude.
Yeah, a little bit. They just come up, start grabbing
It's a bunch of chicks that are essentially in underwear.
Yep. And they just come up, start dancing and touching.
On what is,
and like,
regardless of the fact that you can see them, it is still private property. Because like we said, it's her balcony. It's her porch-ish thing, right? So it's hers.
Call the police.
Right?
But no, they chase them off with cookies.
Well, it's very weird because in the beginning, most of the girls are down with it.
Yeah, it seems like they're okay.
Even Annette.
Yeah, she's just like, oh, okay, cool.
It's not until Sandy starts saying,
hey, let
go
of
away,
my mom, you
leave.
asshole.
And then all of a sudden you see all of the girls start telling them to go. And I was like, do they not like the punks or do they like the punks? Like, I don't understand what's going on here.
It goes back and forth.
Well, they play the scenes like whenever we see them on the beach, it's like nobody likes them. But anytime we see them interact with people not on the beach itself.
Shouldn't it have been like the other surfer guys that we meet here in a little bit? Like they should have been the ones
all
coming over.
All the ones at the
the
watchtower thing. I agree.
Those should have been the guys
because
party.
That's what most of their boyfriends are probably part of that group.
Probably not these weird punk guys just come up rubbing up on bitches.
I agree. It would have made a lot more sense
but
and not made made it feel like sexual assault.
Yeah.
Right?
Apparently, if you throw cookies though, they'll go away. You see that? Just throwing cookies at them. Wasteful. Don't waste the Oreos. Come on now.
Yeah, so you're right. The next scene we get though is this scene where is this place. This where all the surfers are.
This is where Frankie
it's Michael's buddy Mountain. That's what he says. It's his buddy Mountain's place.
Surf Review.
Yeah, Mountain's surf. I don't remember. Was it Surf City? There's a sign out front.
Sign, like Surf City or something. This is where all the surfers just kind of live, right?
Well, it's nuts too. Like we don't see what it is when we first see the inside, right? Yeah, but I want to go ahead and talk about how insane this is because it's like in an abandoned marine biology center or something, right?
Big tower,
it's a tower, but then like two like office set
things off to the side where everybody's just dropping from poles.
I'm like, who owns this? Who's renting this? How are they renting this?
Clearly Mountain rents
Is that not insane though?
His mom and dad are rich, I guess. I don't know.
Something, dude.
Super rich because he's got like cameras up to the other coasts.
That was my next problem is that this is 1987. How does he have these live feeds?
He ran some serious cable, man.
Of what essentially looks like actual cameras on the water.
Beach, yeah.
Not even on the beach, dude. You can see like it looks like they're moving with the water sometimes.
Some buoy cameras with fiber optic cables. Like he spent millions on this just so he could figure out where the surf's at.
It's insane. Like don't get me wrong.
Is he charging a subscription for the people calling in? I hope
that's what I was gonna say.
Some of his money.
This is so unbelievable. But if you could have made this, if you could have gotten the infrastructure for it, you could have made a fortune.
Oh yeah, dude. The surfers definitely would have subbed. They'd have been like, tell me where the surf's at, guys.
He had cameras on each of the big beaches, all the different places, so he could tell them, no Malibu's down today.
Zuma's going off. Get on your boards, man.
Looks like it's taking off here. Let's crank it.
Dude, he's like ringing the bell and he's like the one guy's like, dude, it's your mom. He's like, I can't, man. I gotta surf. He's like,
he's dead.
Sorry, man. He's dead.
I was like, this is a great way to handle that.
Right. And everybody gives surfers so much shit about being lazy. These motherfuckers were up at 7 o'clock in the damn morning to do this. I wish I was that dedicated.
Man, we like you said though, this is also where Frankie spent the night. While they're waking up, we do like he wakes up, but he's not the focus yet, right? Like,
he is super hungover.
While the surfers are still the focus, we kind of see him in the background, and he literally says, "What is a kahuna anyway?"
Right.
That's one of my favorite lines. What is a kahuna?
Anyway.
Especially since, again, that is his name in the movie. He is not Frankie. We only get kahuna. So it's so funny for him to be like questioning what it is.
What am I?
Right?
Am I real?
What even is this world?
Descartes all of a sudden.
Then we get a nice scene. We get a nice moment. between Michael and Frankie, right?
Yeah,
Like,
he mixes up anti-hangover cure.
look, this anti-hangover cure is the second best anti-hangover cure scene in a movie ever. It's only seconded to Back to the Future Part 3. And it's not even so much this drink. This drink is really lame, right?
Yeah, it's just
Did you see what it was?
It's like Alka-Seltzer, Tylenol, Coke, and some instant coffee.
Yes,
it looked
that's it.
like.
That's all it was.
Like,
That's all it was.
That sounds disgusting.
When he goes to drink it, he slams it and it is all foam. Because they drop in like, it's 3 Alka-Seltzers. It's way too many.
Of Tylenol.
And again, not enough time for the Tylenol to break
it's just
down.
down at the bottom.
So you'd be swallowing the pills if they get to you because it's all foam.
They're gonna be stuck to the bottom of the cup.
So like I said, the drink itself is not amazing. The scene, like watching him make it, watching Frankie's eyes get big as he's looking at it get made.
Like, what the hell?
Then he slams it, and then once he slams it, he lets out that scream. That is so beautiful, dude. And then he's just
Keith Richards lived on.
He goes,
man.
Keith Richards?
Yeah.
Lead singer of the Rolling Stones.
Swears by a man.
I think Keith Richards was doing something a little harder than this pussy drink,
dude.
right?
That's how you recover from like a heroin fucking night.
I don't know. But yeah, this would not have been good. It looked like, again, like all you got was foam. There was no beverage to
Just
this.
chugging foam. Shouldn't have screamed.
At best, all you're getting is some sugar and extra caffeine because of the instant coffee mixed into it.
Instant coffee, it's so gross.
Oh, it's all
That's like
bad.
the worst part to me is like, oh, instant.
I will point out, though, this is the only Pepsi in the movie.
Yeah, the rest of it is Diet Pepsi. This is just a regular Pepsi.
Yeah, so he chugs down that drink, though, however unfortunate it must have been.
Right.
Gets wild and says he's never felt more alive.
Right.
Offers to buy him a used Ford Fairlane.
Right. It's like, can I offer you a Ford Fairlane?
You need a good deal on a used Ford Fairlane?
No, but could I marry your daughter? You know?
And so again, this was such a good bonding moment until he found out that
he was Sandy's boyfriend.
Yeah, and then he was like, oh, hell no.
He's like, I'm going to kill you. He's there choking him and shit.
Yeah, it was awful. And then we just cut to the beach with a net.
Everybody else just chilling on the beach. They're putting the stuff on their nose.
The zinc on their noses.
Right.
Thick. All yellow. Pink. Again, back to these day glow colors all over the place.
We loved them back in the day, man.
Even Bobby.
Yeah.
Wearing a leather vest.
Right. Got the leather vest, still has his sunglasses and hat and shit.
And then the mom says something to him.
You go swimming, honey. He's like, no.
I can't.
I got this sweet tattoo that I painted on myself.
Right. Stop it right now.
It's like what did he say? Like the despair of surfing or some shit.
And then she's just like showing how smooth she is with the reverse psychology. Oh, it looks so cute, honey. I just love it.
He's just like,
I think I'm gonna go
swim now. Ruined it.
She's so good. She knows what she's doing.
They're all good at it. They take the piss out of him every time he does this shit. It's great.
Sandy points out Michael, right?
Like, he's over surfing. She's like that's man, him. I miss him. I might have fucked up here.
This surfer was not Michael.
No.
The hair was way too long. They did not even try.
Not even a little bit.
It was mind blowing. I was like, dude, you couldn't find anybody better than that?
Or you couldn't have learned to surf for 5 seconds.
Yeah, because it's not even that much.
You just need one shot of him catching a wave. That was all we needed from that actor.
Yeah. While we're sitting there, though, like they're all talking about what they should be doing because again, their boyfriends are gone.
Yeah.
Mom says, I know exactly what I would do in a situation like this. And as soon as she says it, she gets blasted by Sandy and Sandy's friend, the redheaded Robin.
Yeah.
Did you hear her? She was just like, I don't think another pajama party is it, Mom.
Right. Just like, I don't think we're in public.
Too much, Sandy.
Maybe shopping. Her other go-to, right?
And she goes, no, I like where your head's at.
Yeah.
But that's not what I would do.
That's not what I'm thinking.
She's like, well, watch. I would do this. And then she proceeds to go flagrantly fucking throw herself at Troy, dude. She says, I want you to take me out, spend all your money,
Show me a great time.
Take me home.
Take me home and shit. And he's just like,
he says,
super
have
down.
we gone on a date before?
Right? Like, you sound like you know my freaking whole game already.
That's my MO.
That's my move.
And then we also get, what's the other line we get from, because she keeps talking about the stuff. She's like, she says it a few times. You really have some really nice stuff.
He has a fucking generator.
You can separate the men from the boys by the price of their toys.
Yeah.
With that weird Troid laugh that he
That
gives
is
all the time.
something Quagmire would say.
I told you he's Quagmire.
He
dude.
is.
It's a horrible scene. She was just trying to set up to the girls like if Frankie was watching, I would do this. It would make him jealous.
He'd go over and punch him.
Problem here is he was watching.
And even Bobby's is like, unfortunately for Mom, Dad's not the big
not who
macho
he used to
dude
be.
he used to be. He just kind of goes back to Connie and
he
sulks.
runs to Connie with his fucking tail between his legs, whining about it.
She doesn't like me anymore. All sad me. Bro, sad buddy. You should have walked over and punched him.
Now's when we find out though that Michael is Connie's son.
Yeah, he comes up and he's like, wait a minute. How old is that fucking kid?
In all fairness though, this is not his fault.
No.
Michael's the one who makes the joke
About how long it's been.
He says, do the math.
Yeah, do the math. And it's like, wait.
Which is the implication.
Why should I be doing math?
Right? Like that to me, I was like, Connie jumps on Frankie for thinking it. And it is fucked up because you should know if you...
yeah, you should know if you
did
somebody.
the deed or not. But it is really bizarre for her to get that upset when her son's the one that made the I could be your kid joke.
Yeah. But no, he's not. He's not the dad. She married...
I do feel like this implies a little bit about how wild Frankie used to get, that there are nights he's saying he doesn't remember.
Yeah, for real.
Like he had genuine concern that maybe he did do it and he just doesn't remember.
And he don't remember none of
But
it.
yeah, she gets mad and she's like, fuck no, bitch. I was married after you left. My first husband. He's my first husband's kid.
She married some square. And
Spud. No, look, Frankie's the only one that says he's a square.
Yeah.
Everybody else defends him, and we have no point of reference. So I don't know.
But Frankie's giving him shit and stuff to the point where Michael's like, yo,
Spud, you mean...
You married Spud? Shut up. Michael's just like, yo, you're ragging on my dad, asshole.
Well, and even Connie, again, for chasing after Frankie, and this being her ex-husband, Connie is even like,
dude, shut the fuck up.
Chill it out. Spud wasn't that bad.
He's a good dude. Then we cut to Bobby with the punks.
Okay. One of my favorite moments, and this is a throwback to when we were fucking talked about toy soldiers, dude.
Yep.
Because I told you I knew that I had seen this trick in another movie, right? When we watched it, I told you, I was like, there is some other movie, and I can't remember what it is, where this is a trick. Again, this is why, between this and Toy Soldiers, is the reason I know that if you need a fuse, if you need an extra couple of minutes on a fuse.
If you need a slow fuse, just take a cigarette, light it, puff it a couple, tear it off, stick it in.
Yeah, we see Bobby is holding school.
He is holding court right now. He's like, you guys, this is how you do it. You want to slow fuse a cherry bomb because you want to set it off in the girls' locker room, but you don't want to be there when it happens, right?
Every punk is glued to every word he is saying.
He's demonstrating. He's got the cigarette and showing him how to do it.
Shows that you got to poke the hole in a little bit first.
Just a little bit so you make a little cavity.
It's great. And then when he doesn't miss a beat, the second he's finished with that conversation, he goes, "You guys want to go shopping on my dad's credit card?" Dude, great. Smooth motion. I love it.
Right.
It's amazing.
He's one of the punks now. They've accepted him as their own.
After we've seen 2 scenes of Annette and her advice to the women, that being the pajama party, and then you should make them jealous, right?
Go make them jealous.
We get this cutaway of Frank telling the boys, this is you want to know what you're supposed to do. This is how we used to do stuff. This is how we used to do stuff back in the day,
right?
Back in the day when we would have a problem with the women on the beach, this is what you would do. You trick them.
Make them think you're having the time of your life.
Basically, he just says you ignore them. And pretend like you're having fun.
Keep having fun with the boys. It'll piss them off.
And they're like, I guess. And he's like, just give me a minute. I'll be right back. Trust me. I'll enact this plan.
Yep.
We don't know for about 5 minutes what he was doing. He disappeared to go get a football.
And
it's funny because we have no idea why he left. He just left, right?
Yeah.
And then, but when he's gone, I don't even know what made this music start. Like, I mean, I know it was Annette, and she just asked. I know, but there was no build up before that. She just happens to walk past and goes, "Do you girls know how to Jamaica Ska?" No, ska.
Is it ska?
Like ska music.
Ah,
get it? The guys
that makes more sense.
The guys at the horn. the saxophone. He's doing, notice he was doing punk ska dancing, that guy. She just asked the girls, do you know how to Jamaica Ska? And they're like,
No.
what the fuck is that? And
Never
so then she
heard
just
of it.
happens to walk past a dude with a fucking saxophone and goes, do you know how to Jamaica Ska? And he goes, oh.
And then we get a nice music number.
Jamaica Ska. Right? It's so funny. But this, of all the weird dance numbers, is the wildest, right? Because everybody that is on the beach,
the whole beach is jamming to this.
Slowly dance off the beach.
Yep. And leave poor Frankie off
He
by
shows
himself.
up. He shows up with that football.
Right? Just by himself.
As they're all walking away,
Wait,
and he
but
has
we
no
gotta-
idea what happened.
But we got to do the thing. We're having the fun. And guys, come back. And he's just left holding his dick and his ball in his hand, isn't he?
Yeah, it was a very. It's like I said. It's
poor
a fun.
Frankie.
It's a fun.
It's a super fun scene. I love this shit.
Like I said, the ska dancer. I love him. I
He is
love
super
the
getting
saxophone
into
dude.
it.
Yeah, well, he's like that full on. Again, if you guys know what we're talking about, like like the full they.
He's kicking and
Like the
super
movements
low.
are part of the horn playing, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like as he throws, it hits like a harder like swing note and shit. I love that. But yeah, it is very sad for poor Frankie.
He's just left there by himself. Poor guy.
He was definitely not able to trick them.
Yeah, so Annette is definitely winning at this point.
Oh yeah, she is
She
hardcore
is hard
winning.
winning at this point.
One thing that was super funny to me, because it will come up again later. Did you happen to notice? So far we have seen Sandy and her friend group, and it's a big group, several times. But there is one that's always with her. Her redheaded friend?
Yeah, Robin.
Did you notice what Robin was wearing at the beach for the Jamaica Ska scene?
Like a sundress thing, wasn't it?
Dude, it is an ankle length thick cotton sundress that had long sleeves and an umbrella, because this bitch is a pale redhead and she can't
My
hang.
ginger skin
She
can't handle it.
She can't hang out in the sun as much as everybody else is trying to do, so she has to find a way to still be able to hang out with
Fucking
the group.
daywalker.
Like we said, it's wild that they leave the beach, right? But if you notice, it is already starting to get like the clouds
Cloudy.
are coming in, and then immediately after this, they use that in continuity because it's raining. And they tell us when Frankie is away from the car lot too long and things are going wrong, he just has an itch to sell.
He will sell anything.
And so I guess he stole someone's hot dog cart. He told us he had a good day after everybody left the beach.
Sold like 18.
Which for people who left the beach and it was rainy, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
But then he just parks it and leaves. Now we see that Michael makes surfboards.
Yep, that's what he does.
He's
It's not even his job.
Yeah, this is Michael's surfboard making shop. I don't know where we're at. I don't know how we got here, but that's where that's what we're seeing. How Frankie knows that's where this place. You get what I mean?
Right, like
there's
because he just kind of walks
so
up
many
like
logical
he
steps
knows where it is
to this, right? But then he sees the boards and he's like, "Dude, you should sell these."
These are super nice, man.
Oh, he's like, "I don't sell.
I don't do
you,
that.
You
I
should
just give them to people."
Dude, if you're wanting to start a family, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, with my fucking daughter,
Right?
wink, wink,
Maybe
nudge,
you
nudge.
ought to have like a job,
Or-
and I'm the guy who can help you.
Well,
with
and he
this.
says, I'm just under the assumption that if you can make money doing something you already love,
"Yep,
maybe that's the route you should go. So if you could make money doing
Right.
this, it was the one time where like the business side of Frankie actually kind of made sense.
yeah, a little bit."
Because you're like, dude's got a point, man.
If you do what you love, you never work a
if
day
you're
in
doing
your
this
life,
every
right?
day, all day, and you're not making money and you love it, then if you start making money,
That's even better. Yeah,
that's more reason to love it.
that's right. That's what everybody wants.
So do it.
That's why we do this.
We don't get to directly see it, but it's hinted at that
That's
the
what's
two
gonna
of them
start
are going to
happening.
concoct
They're
a
gonna go
plan.
into business together.
And then we get the conversation about the wanting to have a party, right? Because they still got
They
fix
go.
things.
They go over to back to
Dick
Daddy
Dale's. But before
And
we
it's
see the
Stevie Ray Vaughan, baby,
so yeah, we get Stevie Ray Vaughan is
for no reason, just because it's
just
cool.
to make it badass,
'Cause
dude.
it's awesome.
Fucking wind machine on
Fuck,
him.
he looks so
Not
fucking
even
cool.
fan, like wind machine.
Wind
Like the
machine.
amount of like gust that is hitting him.
His
It is
hair's
full
all
wind machine.
fucking flowing and shit.
I was
He
like,
is
damn,
soloing this
Dick
shit.
Dale calling out the big guns.
Yeah, he did.
Stevie Ray
Calling in
Vaughan,
that
he's
favor.
rocking all of the fucking turquoise.
All
You
the
see it?
turquoise, man. He's got the SRV strap for the
Yes,
guitar
dude,
and
he's
shit.
looking
the hat,
slick as
all
fuck,
of it.
dude. It's
Fucking
nice.
dope.
And immediately after we get his nice like guitar solo low. We hear that the next problem the guys are having, because Frankie is telling everybody, like, all right, well, we weren't able to do our first part of the plan. So the
Right.
next part is
We're gonna
bonfire.
we're gonna have a big bonfire.
We have a wicked
I
beach
used to
party.
burn stuff to apologize.
That's how she knew. That's how
Right.
she knew I was sorry, is when I
would
burned
burn
things.
things.
And they're like, we can't do that.
So
Our harbor
harbor
master
master
is
won't
a
let us-
douche. He won't let us do things like
It's a
that.
douche nozzle.
Yeah, that's right. He does say douche, not, which is actually way nastier.
It really is.
He's like, we'll handle that.
Yeah,
Trust
well, I
me.
guess
Trust me.
we'll-
You
we'll
come
see
with
what a
me.
little schmoozing will do.
We'll be able to handle this. We can get it taken care of. Then we get to see their harbor master,
It's Get Smart.
Don Adams
Get
from
Smart.
Get Smart. Dude, I love this.
I love
and
it.
he does
Every bit of it.
every bit from Get Smart. He does the missed it.
Missed it
that-
by that much.
He does, yeah, it's so good, dude. I love that he's here. It was the era of the late 80s, early 90s was when he would make all kinds of cameos.
Yeah.
Like, he knew he was slowly becoming slightly irrelevant, and he was like, look, you put me in it,
I'll get my check and it'll be fine.
and people will be like, I remember
Ah.
him. I love him. And it's true. I do. While they're in there talking with him, he is a douche. He is
Yeah,
like,
he is
I'm
like,
not
no,
gonna,
we're not having
can't
a
have
party
here.
No party.
And so then they're like, what? It's not a party.
Not a party.
It's a celebration for Harbor Master of the Year. I won? Missed it by that much. And then
No,
then they're immediately like, no, you did win. And I was like, they really wanted that joke in
They really
there.
wanted that line in there. They kind of ham-fisted it in,
they
but
did.
it's fine.
It is.
I was
I
totally
wanted
cool.
it there too.
I was like,
So-
I would have flipped over backward to find a way to. Don't worry.
and so they get their party. It's great.
Huge bash.
Big, giant, crazy bonfire like
There's
they
more
asked
than
for.
one. There's a few
Yeah.
fires
So
going
they
on.
totally get what they want. Annette even says it, right? Like Sandy says,
I can't believe they threw this big party
but they
and
wouldn't
didn't
invite us.
And
That's
she's
so
like,
crazy.
Bet you have not been listening to me.
This is for us.
This is our party.
This is your dad. Your dad is doing that for me.
He's
this is a sign.
apologizing by
to me.
burning things.
Yes.
Yes. Makes total sense to her.
And then she goes looking for him. Well, no, first Michael walks up. Michael has his talk. Everything's going
Yeah.
good. Annette can tell. She's like, all right, well, you guys have fixed your shit.
Yeah, he tells her he's sold some
Yeah.
surfboards and he's going to start
Yep.
a business and shit. And it's going to be great.
She's like, you don't do that. And he's like, your dad helped me figure it out.
I do it now.
If
'cause,
I
you
want
know-
to start a family, if I want to get married,
Yeah, and she's
I
just
should-
like, oh, and mom's like, all right, you guys do your
I'm
thing.
going to go find
I'm gonna
Frankie.
go find Frankie.
Where's he at?
He's hugging Connie.
God damn it,
God
Frankie.
damn it.
God damn it. Like, you knew what you burned things because you knew what it meant and you're fucking it up, dude.
To be fair, he was just thanking her for like helping.
I know.
But it was really badly timed.
Thank you. Bad timing, dude. Bad timing.
Maybe a pat on the shoulder, just some knucks,
Nope.
fist
nope.
pump,
Nope. Full on.
full hug.
Right up there on the
Big
stage.
hug.
On the stage.
Yeah, in front of everybody.
And so she says, I'm gonna get mine.
Yep,
I'm gonna
so
get
she
mine
go-
back.
She goes over to Troy.
And they go out on his surfboard together.
I like that. She's like, can you surf? He's, can I surf? Does Dolly Parton float? Is Michael Jackson's hair flammable? Do you ever shut up?
God
That
damn,
was
it's
so
good.
good.
They go out on the surfboard and we get again, just like the beginning of the
Yep.
movie. It's this
The
is how they
cheesy-
used to,
Cheesy
fake
blue
like,
screen.
it's so good. He's
Not-
peeking up her skirt, even though it wouldn't mean anything because
Yeah,
she's
'cause
in
she's
a
wearing a
full
full-
surf suit. Yeah, it was so crazy. Then Frankie sees that.
Man, that motherfucker.
So now Annette is winning, dude. Right?
Yeah,
Like
that is
full
super
on.
fucking winning. She's
proven,
won.
yeah, she
she
proved
won
her
the
point.
whole thing.
Oh yeah. Troy gets back. They come walking up. Frankie's pissed. He's like, "Didn't you know? Why do you think I was burning
You're
things?
supposed to know
you
when I burn things.
You know what burning means."
She's like, yeah, I thought you did too, but you're over there with fucking horror, you know?
Right? And now Connie's like, "Look, bitch."
Like, look, bitch, shut up.
walks up to Connie, right? And she's like,
Right.
"You can have him. I'm done with it."
She's
right?
like, that's cool, but I don't take dudes that don't want me.
Yeah, and she's like, "What do you mean?
Like, every time he's up here with me, he's talking about you, you crazy bitch.
he doesn't want me."
Now
And
stop
she's like,
being
"Oh,
stupid.
really?"
Yeah, so stop being stupid.
Then we get the
Oh.
funny titty joke.
You wasted a good set of
Set of
titties, though.
Hooters. She
Hooters.
specifically
Just
says
Hooters.
Hooters. Because I was like, that was an interesting choice. We could have said anything. We went with Hooters.
Cans,
Right?
jugs.
We went with Hooters.
We went with Hooters.
And so then she and Frankie make up. There's no reason to really dwell on this because they don't really give it good justification. They're just
No.
like, we basically, right? They sit
We're
down.
even.
We're even. No winners, no
No.
losers.
Bullshit.
No conversation.
Annette won.
Yeah, no conversation, no anything. Exactly. Frankie was the one that even said it. He was like, I like that.
I like
no
that.
losers.
No winners, no losers.
Yeah,
no,
sounds like a good idea.
You clearly lost.
Yeah, of course you're for that. Because why would you be against that?
Right. It makes me look good if I don't lose.
They kiss. Of course, when they kiss, everybody's cheers because I guess it makes sense.
Yeah.
Now.
Movie's over, right? Happy ending?
Well, not yet, but we do get a nice musical number. This is when Pee-wee shows up, dude.
I know. You thought Stevie Ray Vaughan's was pointless. This is for absolutely no fucking reason.
We get
but
Pee-wee
it is
doing the
awesome.
bird,
Surfing bird.
Bird is a word.
Bird is a word.
Hey, Bo.
Hey, yo.
Have you heard
that the bird is the word? This is the best version of this song. I don't care what everybody says.
Oh, no, I love it.
Pee-wee doing this song.
When he gets to the part where he just starts like weird like mouth
noises.
jamming with it, like where he's like surfing bird. Yeah, and he like long chants it and shit. Dude, I love it. But so the end of this song though is when I hinted at earlier at the very opening that this movie definitely exists in a world that is not a real world, because when the song is finished, what happens?
Pee-wee flies off into the sky on a magic skateboard.
On a surfboard.
Or surfboard.
It takes off like a jet engine. Nobody questions it.
Has a blue light. They all just like,
the light.
Thanks,
they even
Pee-wee.
show the light against their faces, letting us know that was literally supposed to be happening.
They wave and shit. Bye, Pee-wee.
And then nobody addresses it again.
Nope.
Right after Pee-wee leaves is when it was dinner time.
Oh, yeah, it was dinner time. Now we get to hear about the accident.
I just love that they had to say it again. Like everybody's sitting on the beach. Someone makes the comment that dinner was good. And he goes, you guys want to hear a story?
You want to hear about the accident?
Oh, no, that's not even how it happened. Annette says, I think you owe it to them to finally tell them.
Right.
That's what it was. And
the
he's like,
best part-
all right. But it did just happen to be dinner time.
Yep.
Always dinner time.
Always dinner time.
So he finally tells them, we finally get to hear it named.
We finally tells us.
Yeah. We finally get to hear it named, right?
The Humunga Cowabunga
from down under. I love that name. But so, yeah, the story goes, the reason he quit surfing is back in the 60s, this crazy storm rolled in when he was on the water by himself.
Yep.
Right? Dark clouds everywhere. Then you could see the wave, the biggest wave he'd ever seen in his life came crashing in. Right? Bodie called it.
Bodie totally called that shit, guys. Every 50 years, there's a massive wave that comes up from fucking Australia.
Teach us
that we are nothing compared to the ocean, man.
And,
some deep
and
shit.
who did it take out this time? Damn near took out Frankie.
Damn near took out Frankie.
Because that's
Avalon.
the moral of the story is like, again, at the beginning of the movie, fucking Bobby tells it like it was something stupid. Like it was a lame event.
Some lame accident.
He was in the hospital for weeks.
Yeah, he was in like a coma and shit. They thought he was dead.
No wonder he quit surfing. No wonder he moved to Ohio. Right? He was like, fuck water.
Fuck water in general. I am never going in it again. Kind of understand a little better now.
It all makes a lot more sense, right?
Fucking 100-foot wave almost kills you. Yeah, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore.
Now is when Zed and the rest of the punk show
there
up.
It is. They roll up on their
for no reason.
Brand new four-wheelers.
No reason.
No reason.
Bobby's the leader now.
Yep.
Because he paid for the...
Because he bought the fucking four-wheelers with the credit card, which... Frankie does not react to. Did you notice?
Nobody does.
I'm like, that's like 20 grand worth of four-wheelers, man.
Frankie doesn't care about that. He's just like, fuck this. We're settling it with a surf off.
Right.
What, Frankie? What? Your best surfer? And Zed's like, that's me.
Yeah.
Against our best surfer. Who's that? You, Michael.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay.
Of course. And I was like, I think Mountain.
Yeah, I think Mountain would have probably been...
He owns
the
business,
spot, right?
Like, I think it's Mountain.
And he's standing right there.
I think it's Mountain.
Yeah. His fanny pack got in the way.
I guess.
Do you know him? Fucking Mountain has a fanny pack through the whole fucking movie.
And so that's our planned mashup is going to be these two verses of each other for 30 seconds.
For 30 seconds, because
Frankie slams the bongo.
This is our beach. Boom.
Breaks his foot.
Right on Michael's foot.
Breaks
it. Just breaks it.
We see it. It's hurt. We see it's bad. Cut to in the morning, and he had to put a full cast on it, dude.
That looks like it hurts. Clunk. It does. Why would you do that?
We see Zed shows up. I mean,
fucking
dude,
like
not only are we about to roll through this quick, the movie rolls through this stupid quick. It's so outrageous.
It goes so fast from the point where freaking Michael breaks his foot to the end. It's just like, oh shit, we gotta go.
Yeah, and so like Michael's foot's broken, and so literally we see it in the cast to immediately Zed rolling up on the beach.
Yep,
like no time, anything.
He's
There's
getting
like
towed in. By
it looks like hours before the contest to contest starting, right?
Dude, no, they set this all up real fast.
Oh, yeah.
There's news crews, judges, announcers.
Well, and then when Zed gets up to the front of the line, where's Mike? What's going on? And she's like, oh, well, he can't surf today. He broke his foot. Bad thing. You're going to be surfing against Robin.
Who I didn't know even
surf.
We've never seen her even get in the water.
I didn't know that she liked being in the sun.
Right.
The last time we saw her, she had an umbrella, for the love of God.
And Zed's even like, do you even know how to swim?
Dude,
this is going to be so easy.
Did you notice her outfit? She looked like goddamn Rogue from X-Men, dude.
Yeah, a little bit.
It was all green and yellow. She even had a fucking yellow headband on her red hair.
I'd have done that on purpose.
She looked like Rogue. Bad.
Maybe she would have been fine. It would have been like secretly she's like super good at surfing. We just never pay attention. She surfs at night because of the sun. Figured it out.
We can see that she's scared. She didn't want to do it though, right?
And
so then out of nowhere, we see Frankie's running up.
He's like,
the judge or the announcer lady, she says, the big patata.
It's the big potato. And you're like, Kahuna. Damn.
Oh, and he's like, he's got his old board, the giant.
With the shark on it. It's big green.
Right.
Stacks it up next to fucking Zed's like, motherfucker, mine's bigger than yours.
That's not a board.
That's
the pier. Again, this is constantly made fun of in the movie. Between that and then it's a
coffee table.
It's so good. It's so funny. It's so true.
It is. It's a giant freaking board. Well, no.
It's not as big as they wanted it to be.
And when I was a kid,
I feel like in comparison,
I felt like it was like a 10-foot long freaking board or something, like the one he's hiding behind earlier.
But it's not.
No, this one seems like it's a little shorter, but it is technically a longboard, I guess.
So they're all getting ready. Frankie has come over. He's gotten over the big kahuna. He's gotten over his fear. He's ready to go out and take on the water
and
again.
He just keeps
Michael yells to him, "Don't worry,
I'll take care of
Bobby,
your son,
like he's my own son." I was like, "Damn, dude, this dude just got over his fear of the water. Hitting him with that line's too much."
He's still falling and shit because he's having so much trouble
he's so
with the
crazy.
board, and Zed's already out there shredding. Right, he's getting in the tube and
because he waits for him to get out there. Because remember when he gets out there, he starts splashing him.
Water.
Yeah, he's like, and then he gets up, he shreds. Well, he gets one decent score from one of the judges, one bad score.
Yeah,
then his second run,
wish list, Siskel and Ebert here.
And then on his second run, though, he gets a decent score from both of them.
Yeah,
Zed is proving
it's like an 8 and a 7 or something. Yeah,
he's proving that he's okay. Right,
man can surf.
He's definitely no slouch.
But Frankie's he's not taking any of the waves. He's still not feeling it. Right, and the people on the beach are like, man, maybe this wasn't a good idea.
And remember, like on his way out, he was even like chanting to himself the things that Michael had told him.
Stay in the pouch or the crouch.
And so in my head, he's still doing that, right? Like he's still sitting there, like just saying it to himself, like
stay in the couch, stay in the crouch, stay in the pouch. Fuck, what was it?
Yes. But then his worst fears come.
The sky darkens and there's a great wind.
It can't be.
It's the humunga cowabunga from down under.
Again.
Once more, even Zed is like, dude.
He swims out of the water. He's yelling.
He's got the bullhorn. He's like, come on, man, you're gonna die.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
It looks like he tries to come in, but he can't. He's not fast enough.
There's not enough time.
He's got to take the wave.
The wave comes for him,
and
then
totally hits it.
In a moment of heroic bravery,
I guess,
triumph,
glory,
he succeeds.
He's on the tip of that thing for a while.
He's riding the brake.
Right?
Forever. He's just full on in the curl, dude.
Right? Forever. Does some poses.
He shaves. Gotta get ready. Gotta get ready for those pictures.
Oh, yeah, get ready for the pictures. Swing a little golf. Right?
Signs an autograph or two. The only thing they didn't do that I think that it was a missed opportunity was to have a Domino's pizza delivered to him.
Oh, yeah. For the 80s, that would have been
because this is the 80s, right? This is home 30 minutes or less. Domino's pizza would have made it.
Yeah, it would have definitely made it to him.
But they did like everything but that joke, essentially. Like anything you could think of, they did, and that's it, dude. I mean, like he comes.
I love the crowd reactions. It just keeps cutting back to reactions. They're just all like, "Ooh."
Once all is said and done, he hits back to land. He gets a 10 from both judges.
Yeah, let's hear it for the big
They both have him.
crapola.
They both have him upside down and backwards for some reason because they
Yeah.
can't figure out how number signs work. I didn't understand why they both
They
struggled.
didn't want to take a second take on that, and they just went with it.
I don't know. It was a weird choice, but that's the end. Things wrap up there.
Yeah.
Everything's good. We get a line from Annette that implies maybe they're moving to the beach.
Yep, like they're gonna like live here and keep having
And then
fun.
we hear Bobby.
My dad's cool now. Even I'm rocking the helmet hair and shit. He actually pulls it
Yeah.
off really good at the end of the movie. Bobby looks good in that
Bobby
suit.
stopped narrating for some reason about 2/3 of the way through the movie, and he came back right now to give us the closeout.
For our final number here.
Again, nobody outright tells us. Bobby doesn't even outright tell us that they live at the beach again, but it seems like they're living at the beach again. Yeah. And so then we get, like you said, it's a nice music number at Daddy-O's.
Yep, just one more.
Closing everything out.
One last
because again,
one.
this like we said, this is like a hidden musical.
Yep.
And now that is officially the end of the movie. That was a guys, if you've not seen it, you got to see it.
It's awesome.
I love Back to the Beach.
It's fun. That's all it is. It's stupid. It's fun. Show the kids.
It's a great
kids
time.
can watch it. Everybody can watch this fucking movie.
You can watch it with your parents.
Yeah,
If you're our age, your parents will love Frankie and Annette.
Yeah, because they probably watched them on TV.
Yeah,
back
so I
in the
mean,
day.
it's good for everybody. What about this this longboard, man? What do you think about this?
Easy to drink, man. I powered through this shit. I liked it.
It's good.
It doesn't have as much flavor as the Big Wave, but this is...
I was gonna say
this
this
is
is one of those
easier to
times where
drink.
it's weird for us to because we are going head to head.
Yeah, head to head, same brand, same company.
I would agree with you. If I'm gonna pick one to go back to, I'm going back to the Big Wave. This is not bad.
Yeah, no, this is really good.
I just prefer the Big Wave.
Just the Big Wave had more of a crisp flavor
Yeah.
to it. This is really good. Thirst quenching.
Yeah. So on that note, though, what are we gonna be drinking next week?
Next time, we're going back to some Mirror Twin Brewing, man. Remember, we've done a
We've
few
done
of
quite
those.
a few. We like Mirror Twin.
Mirror
We
Twin's
told you
good.
guys we'd probably hit some more.
We're going to be doing For the Record from Mirror Twin Brewing. That's
For
your
the
clue.
record.
I mean, we've been on the beach and stuff for a while now. Might
Yeah.
as well have some tunes.
All right.
All right, man. I want to go build a sandcastle.
You asking me, Dick Dale? If I know how to play Venus? No.